What's up, everyone? Happy Tuesday. It is time for a long delayed episode of Party Chat. Feels good to be back because last episode got canceled because of multiple reasons, but it's good to have everyone here tonight, more than we were going to have last time. So let's go ahead and bring in my awesome panel. Carl, as always, back fresh off of his vacation. How's it going?
It's going good, I guess.
So we've talked a bunch in behind the scenes. We've even been playing a little bit. Well, I don't want to say yet because we'll probably talk about that here in the first section. But good to have you back, as well as other co-host Ryan. What's up?
What's going on? It's nice to be back. It was a bummer we didn't get a chance to do this 2 weeks ago, but hey, sometimes you got all good things must wait.
Yeah, so good to have you back. Miss chatting with you. And we got our awesome guest joining us tonight who had terrible weather right before our last episode, and like 10 minutes before we went live, his power went out. So we got InsidiousBliss. What is up?
Hey, and look, I have power today, so at least for the next 4 hours.
Has your weather been pretty crazy off, basically in the interim, or has it been pretty good since?
It's been pretty good so far. I think now is the really only time we're gonna have another blizzard with like 40 to 50 mile per hour winds. So
I thought you were gonna say like 40 or 50 inches of snow. Holy crap!
No, I think they've got like 2 to 4 inches of snow. So
okay, yeah, we just got a big storm here. It was more right up the hill for me in the mountains, but it was raining like for the last 3 or 4 days, but it stopped on Saturday. I was able to go up snowboarding for the first time in forever in like fresh powder. It was phenomenal. So, but yeah, good to have you guys back for an episode of Party Chat. So, as alluded to, as we like to start off, the first thing is talking about what we've been playing lately. So I'll go to Carl here to say what I was alluding to, and because we've been playing something together. So, and if there's anything else that you want to mention that you've been playing lately as well, go for it.
Well, I will start by saying that I actually finished Yakuza Pirates in Hawaii. That's
all right.
That's a game I got obsessed with for a long time. Really fun game, very short. Well, not very short. It's about like a 40-hour game with a lot of side missions. If you played a Yakuza game, you know what you're getting into. And if you're a Majima fan, then you're going to be very happy with this game as well. Very like it. Loved it a lot. Besides that, been playing a couple handheld games for our little challenge that we've been doing.
While we're on the topic of Yakuza, a bit of a disappointment for some people, not for me, because I'm not really into those games. But over Game Pass every 2 weeks, find out what games are going to be leaving in the middle of the month and the end of the month. And we've had 3 2-week segments in a row where at least 2 Yakuza games have left Game Pass. So basically, they were all on Game Pass. And at the end of this month, like 8 games will have left in like the last 4 weeks. So if you're interested in playing some Yakuza games and you have Game Pass, play them before they leave. But I know they're pretty long, so you probably have to burn through them.
Yeah, they go on sale quite a lot, and a lot of them aren't super expensive anyway. I think they average at like $20 a pop when they're not on sale. So, play them now, buy them later, wait for a sale. I know GOG, Steam, PlayStation, even one of them's on the Switch right now. All right, so you have plenty of opportunities to pick them up and play them however you can. And like the Steam sales and all the goody sales will be coming throughout the year, so you can pick them up whenever if you don't have Game Pass as well. I highly recommend them. They're all very fun and great games, especially the spin-off games as well too.
Okay. Yeah, and what have you been playing? You mentioned handheld stuff?
Yeah, when I was on vacation, I finished Pokemon Platinum. Took a couple weeks off from Pokemon games because I plowed through 4 of them in a couple months. I just started Pokemon Black version last night, aka Pokemon African American version, to be politically correct. And besides that,
Black and White, were those DS games?
Yes, okay. They were the last original DS games.
Okay.
And then after that, while I was on vacation, I got a shit ton of video games, and one of them happened to be Split Fiction. And that's the game that Neo and I have been playing here and there through our limited time that we could get through on the weekends. And boy, howdy, that is currently my front runner for Game of the Year.
It's been pretty fun. It's pretty great. The only disappointment is that because we're playing because they've got like the buddy pass, so one person can buy it and then you can basically give it to someone essentially to play with you, but only the person who has the game gets the achievement. So I've been playing it, not getting any achievements, but he has. So I'm a little salty about that, but it's been a fun game.
I know the irony here is I don't give a crap about achievements, and he does.
Exactly.
But that's what you get for being a freeloader. So just enjoy it.
So I'll happily play it again because I'm sure it's being published by EA. I'm sure at one point it'll come to EA Play, which is part of Game Pass Ultimate. So I'll have access to it and I'll gladly play it again for achievements at some point.
Even still, it's only a $40 game and it has crossplay.
That's crossplay too. So
it is probably one of the more fun and interesting games out there. I played It Takes Two last year with my wife, and I didn't hate that game. Well, not last year. The year one game of the year. Sorry. I played it. I enjoyed it. It was kind of a struggle with my wife because she's not as good with those type of games. Just to, nothing against her. She likes more of those slow-paced farming type of games and stuff like that.
Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing. She's been actually playing. I just picked her up the Spy Family video game.
Based on the anime?
Yeah, based off the anime where you get to play as their little daughter Anya and everything else like that. She's been obsessed with that. She was playing that until about like 12 o'clock last night, and I passed out early because I had a case of the Mondays. But yeah, It Takes Two was fun. I don't really understand. I didn't agree why it won Game of the Year that year, but this one, Split Fiction, for sure. If this wins Game of the Year, I can understand why people like it because it is really fun, very creative, very funny. And yeah, I understand the hype. Joseph Ferris, keep it up, guy.
Sweet. Yeah, it has been fun, and I don't know how far we're in, but we might be close to the end. But I looked it up, and it said like 12 to 15 hours. We probably played 6 to 8 hours, so it seems like we're getting close to the end. But who knows? There might be like a whole nother act at the end that we're not aware of.
I think it's not. These games aren't like super long. I think they can be done within a day or two. It's just that because you're on like communist time and I'm on Central Time. It's more so like
time flows at a different rate for me than it does for you.
You're like, oh hey, I can play at 10 o'clock your my time. So it's like midnight for me. I'm like, cool. I could probably give you like a couple hours before I crash.
Yeah, we started at like 7 o'clock my time.
That's still late.
Most nights. So, all right. And what about you, Ryan? What have you been playing lately?
I have actually been playing video games again.
Yes.
I know everybody's gonna be shocked. Everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, wait, what the?" I have been playing, and I'm gonna say mod. The mod for Fallout 4 Game of the Year edition. It is basically you get it on GOG. It is Fallout London. If you want my honest opinion, and this is something I said on a Fallout page on Twitter. I think Fallout London is a better game than Fallout 4 is. I rank it. I'm not even joking. The file itself to download the game, it's free. You have to buy Fallout 4 Game of the Year. But the mod itself is like 62 gigs. It's huge. I mean, it's massively huge. It is incredible. It is a lot of fun.
I've only played a little bit of 4, but from what I hear, like a lot of people didn't really care for it. So
yeah, it's my least favorite Fallout game.
So I'm assuming you have to buy Fallout 4 and then you download the mod for it, or is it like its own standalone thing where you don't?
No. So what you do is you can't buy just regular Fallout 4. You have to buy the DLCs, the Game of the Year edition, which is like I think it's like. Still, when I bought it was like 55 or something like that, or maybe 50. It wasn't horrible, but so anyway, I bought that, and then the mod is 100% free to download. So, but you have to own both of them, and it has to be the Game of the Year. But it is absolutely incredible. The story, they brought in voice actors, and the scenery from London is absolutely incredible. I couldn't say enough good things about it. I haven't finished it yet. and I've had people who've played it watching me. Horny Alf has been on this, been on Party Chat. He was the one who played it first. He recommended it to me because he knows I'm a massive, massive Fallout fan. So I absolutely love it. I can't say more good things about it than I already have. And it's absolutely something I highly recommend you give it a shot if you love Fallout. And it's really awesome to see too a Fallout game that is not taking place in the United States.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah,
Cool.
no, it's so unique in how they do it because there are things that are so similar to what happens in a normal Fallout game, but like you don't have a Pip Boy, you have something that's a little different, but it's like it's a blast. I highly recommend it.
Cool. Good to hear some positivity about something recent in gaming, which we'll talk about more in a little bit.
Yeah, I know, right?
So, all right. And Bliss, what have you been up to? Got any good things or bad things? Whatever.
It's been all good lately. I've
Awesome.
been playing a ton of Warframe.
I had a feeling that's what you were going to say.
Dude's fault.
Yep.
Absolutely dude's fault.
Paul was talking to me about Warframe in my chat last night while I was doing Metroidvania Monday.
Yeah, because we were doing a thing where we were like trying to figure out like, okay, what's the next game we want to play for the company boys? And we each kind of like picked something, and Paul picked a game, but it was just horribly, horribly broken, The Ascent. So for his backup game,
he
decided to pick Warframe. And that has just gripped me. It has gotten into DJ hard. Like he is constantly on that thing. I think playing it probably the most out of any.
I asked Paul last night, but if he had to pick between Warframe and Deep Rock, he said he'd pick Warframe. So he's loving it too, because he's like, "Hey, when are you gonna play Warframe with us?" I'm like, "Soon, it's coming."
Yeah, because both Deep Rock and Warframe, like they're games that like the developers just have a lot of love for, and they put a lot of care into like keeping it going, adding in features. So I'm still finding out different stuff. Like I just recently ran into like their like version of the Nemesis system. So, and I know Paul's really excited to be able to romance and have relations with his Warframe. So, all sorts of fun.
Yeah.
Other than that,
speaking of the devs, I think it was when I had first met Dude and had him on for open mic, he was telling me about Warframe, and that the devs are like, when it comes to video game industry, they're pretty base. Like there was something that they put in the game, I want to say it was like pets or something, and people just started like dumping money into it, essentially your whales, and because of that they actually took the mechanic out of the game.
Really?
So yeah. So Dude, remind me exactly what the details were on that, because I see him in chat. So I'll say hi to chat here in just a second. But yeah, he was telling me that because there were people dumping money into this, they actually took it out. So pretty cool devs, it seems like.
Yeah, and I mean, I think their monetization thing is like completely fair. Like you can get basically just about everything just by grinding it out. You can even like if you want to earn the like paid currency, you can do that by going out finding like the parts and then selling those for the in-world money. So
yeah, so it's what I remember him telling me, I think you can use some money to speed it up, but I think most of it is through gameplay. Is that right?
Yes. Or you could be like me and just pay.
So,
but the other huge game I've been playing is
awesome. I'm looking forward to getting into it with you guys.
Monster Hunter is the other one.
I'm surprised Carl hasn't mentioned that. He probably hasn't put much into it because of Yakuza, I'm assuming.
Basically that, and I think I played maybe 2 hours last night, and then the Monday itis hit me, and I was like, I gotta go to bed.
So, how you like? Well, first of all, Bliss, have you been into the previous Monster Hunter games, or is this your first one?
I've played them. Like I've bought a lot of them, and then I play like a little bit, and then just kind of fall off. I think the one that I probably played the most, probably bought the most, because I think I ended up like 3 different platforms, was Monster Hunter Worlds. And that one just really like gripped me. It was a game like where you could just like put like a TV show or something. Like I think I watched like Star Trek. Started going through like Star Trek episodes while I had that on the second screen, and it's just so relaxing. Like you wouldn't think like a game like focused on like going and hunting like basically bosses.
Giant
Like
monsters.
Yeah, it's just so soothing. But yeah, I don't know. It's just you get into it, you feel great. You're always kind of moving and improving your gear and changing what your character's dressing up as. So I don't know, it's just a ton of fun. It's got a lot of charm to it.
Yeah, that's true. It's a podcasting game is what I like to call it.
Exactly.
You just throw on a podcast, you learn some stuff about history or, current news or whatever, and then you just get lost in the world of fighting giant dogs or something like that. Who knows what you're fighting that day? Or you could be like me and you're going around trying to get those super rare animals to add to your collection.
Exactly.
All right. Cool. As for myself, the thing that I've been playing the most of lately is I have been making my way through Dishonored 2 because I've recently played through Dishonored 1. So I'm doing Dishonored 2 now. And then once I get through that, I'll be doing Dishonored Death of the Outsider. Those are games that I started a long time ago and just been putting off forever because I'm working on getting my completion percentage back up. And my biggest complaint is because what I've done is the low chaos, which means basically don't kill anyone and don't get detected. So it's taking a very long time. I'm very much looking forward to playing through the high chaos one because I don't have to worry about not getting detected and I can kill people. So when I did high chaos and Dishonored 1, it was like the amount of time it took to beat the whole game was like a quarter of the time it took to beat it on low chaos because you got to be so slow and methodical. And every time that you get detected, you got to reload your last save. So it's definitely a stealth game and it's got lots of cool powers. And some of the levels are really long. Like one level, it should have been split into two because it took me nearly like 5 hours to beat it. So it's taken a long time. That's my biggest complaint, but they are cool, interesting levels. And it's a good stealth game if you like stealth games and the powers are cool. It's just the worst thing about the game is the achievements. Well, for being someone who is an achievement hunter, kind of dictate how you have to play it. Because there's, like I just said, there's achievements for beating it without getting detected, without killing anybody. There's an achievement without buying any of the powers. So it kind of takes away from the fun of the game because like I want to use all these things to make the game more fun. But the second playthrough on the high chaos will kind of make up for that. I'll be able to not really. It's still not like a first person shooter because you do have like guns and crossbows and stuff. But you can definitely play at a much more higher, fast pace, so it'll be a little bit more exciting. But I am liking it a lot. And the first one I had on 360 because I started it way back, and it's not backwards compatible. So it's nice that being able to play it on more modern hardware where it's got quick resume and it's got quick saves, and the saves load way a lot faster than it did on 360. So that's helping speed it up a bit. I'm liking it. And if you like stealth games, I think you'll probably like Dishonored. So I feel like it's got a lot of influences from a lot of other games as well. Like I've seen like Half-Life and BioShock. It seems like it's got a lot of inspiration from that as well.
Yeah, and Thief.
Thief, yes, absolutely. So, so that's what I've been playing lately. And I think I'm on, because I've heard it mentioned on like top like 10 videos of like, many times of like most interesting levels, and I'm at the beginning of a level that I've seen on these lists a lot of times where you're basically like seeing the area you're in current day and you're seeing it in the past at the same time and using it to like solve a mystery or something. I just started that level, so I think this level is going to be really cool.
Oh yeah, that was a huge selling point when that game first came out. So it was one of those things that was like awe-inspiring, like to see like it's switching between like the current day and past.
Yeah, so I've heard it is a really interesting level. I just started that one. Let's see, did I play it last night? Yeah, I think I started it last night. So I'll probably be playing more of that tonight here after the stream. But yeah, Dishonored is pretty good. And no, it was something else. Never mind. So, all right. Well, before we get into our topics for tonight, let's go ahead and say hi to the chat. Dude was the first one. Well, technically Ryan was the first one, but he's on the panel. So, in the actual chat, Dude was first in the actual chat saying late and gay. I guess it's because of Bliss, not Paul. What's up, dude? How's it going? Says Spy X Family is a great anime. Highly recommended from me. Okay. Yeah. I don't know anything about it, but I do remember Mark brought it up on Party Chat one time and I asked him a little bit about it.
It's really good.
Back in Party Chat 1.0. So I've heard good things about it. And Lowest Expectations, you're saying hello there. What's up, Lowest? Good to see you. And Seth is here. I haven't seen DJ in a while. So good to see you in chat saying, hey, boyos. Dude says he'd rather play Fallout Nagasaki. Is that a mod or is another mod? I haven't heard of that.
I don't think that's a thing. I think he's saying he would rather see what Nagasaki looks like after the Fallout universe because they would have been bombed twice.
Okay, that would actually be pretty interesting.
I have a feeling that they would never ever make that mod because it might be considered slightly insensitive.
Well,
since it happened once before.
I have a feeling that Nexus mods would ban it, but I'm sure you can put it on other sites, so that would be interesting to play.
You know, there's some irony here that you can't talk about the nuking of Nagasaki in Japan, but they have a whole museum dedicated to Japan did nothing wrong in World War II. So there you go.
So DJ says not only that, but Warframe's getting a massive update tomorrow, so even more content and quality of life changes. I'm absolutely hyped. Awesome. Glad to see that it's still alive and kicking. Okay, and dude's coming in with what I was referring to about Warframe. He said when Kubrows, sorry if I'm saying that wrong, dogs were added, their fur patterns and colors were completely random, but they allowed you to use premium currency to re-roll the randomness. They took that. That's what I was referring to. They took that out, and they even refunded the people who spent currency on that system. So pretty based. And he's currently dealing with my current Lich to get ready for the new boy and Liches getting added tomorrow. Okay, he's probably talking about Warframe. And Seth's saying Dishonored is Arcane, which is basically former Looking Glass employees. I did not know that. Hence why it's basically their spiritual successor to Thief. Prey is their version of System Shock. Yeah, I have not played it, but the 2017 Prey, I've not played it, but I've heard it's really good. And my buddy in real life, he played it not too long ago, and he said it was awesome. So I'm definitely looking forward to playing that at some point as well. But I
tried. It is boring.
I saw somebody play it, and I thought it looked pretty good. I want to play it someday. So I think, is it on my list?
I played the original from 2006, which is basically same name, but it has absolutely nothing to do with it. I really like that game.
Yeah, the Bethesda one is the one I'm talking about. The
2017.
Yeah, I don't know anything about the original. They have nothing to do with each other.
Yeah.
I think that's on sale right now on Fanatical.
The 2017 or 2006?
The 2017 Prey.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in my Steam library. So it's only like 18 gigs. That's not bad. It's really not. I think it's a cool looking game. It's very interesting. We'll say that. It's space based. So
yeah. So and DDA says I actually like Prey 2017. So I'm looking forward to playing it at some point. I just don't know when. So, but all right.
I got so bored playing with it. I'm sorry. That's my opinion.
Well,
if
you got bored playing with it, you're not doing it right, are you?
I'm still waiting for the blue pills to show up, so I'll let
you know. All right. Well, with that, we'll go ahead and get into our topics for tonight. And as always, I like to offer the guest on the panel opportunity to suggest a topic. So he sent me like a paragraph. So I kind of condensed it to what I think was the gist of what he was getting at. And correct me if I'm wrong about this, Bliss, but it was saying, how a lot of people are blackpilled about the current state of the industry and stuff, and saying everything is terrible. It's like there's a lot of good stuff out there. You just got to know where to look. So the gist that I got from it is, what was your favorite game, your recent game? I kind of said he didn't specify, but I said let's say within the last 5 years, so this decade. So is that kind of close to what you were kind of going for?
Yeah, because I think realistically, like if I was growing up now, right, like there's a very good chance that like one of these years is going to be like, we look back and look like 2002 or something like that as like one of the greatest years ever in gaming.
Yeah, well, we had that stream on Carl's channel. What was the year that you picked?
I don't even remember. Was it like 98 or 99?
I think it was 98.
98?
I can go back and check. I'll check, but
it was 90 something.
Yeah. But the chances are like we're probably in like someone's like phenomenal year, like with all this stuff coming out, or in the next couple of years, or even like a few years past. Like someone's probably like this is like their year that they're gonna look back at and say like this is the best year ever. So
I was right. It was 98. I would 2007 and Carl in 2018. So we're almost about 10 years apart each.
Oh, there you go. So yeah, it was just like, like if you were to put yourself in those shoes, like what do you think you would pick? If you were growing up now, what would be your best year in gaming?
So, okay. So, well, I'll go ahead and I see Vanquish is here saying, "Hail, what's up, Vanquish? Good to see you." And lowest expectation, thought Prey 2017 was decent. So, I'll go ahead and let you start off since it was your question.
I think honestly, and this is really my mind has like changed recently, but I think it's got to be this year for me
This
because
year
like
already with only 3 months, not even full 3 months.
look at what we have. We've got Kingdom Come 2, right? Monster Hunter 2 coming out, Yakuza Pirates, Doom is on the horizon, the new Elden Ring side project. There might even be a GTA coming out. So there's just so much stuff coming out. And I haven't had that in a while where like I felt like there's just way too many games for me to play that I want to get to, but I just can't because I just don't have enough time.
Okay.
So just with all this stuff coming out, I think I would probably pick this year.
Okay. So your question. So absolutely make up to you. So I would pick this year. I mean, I do agree with you that for once we actually have a lot of good stuff to look forward to. So I would say this is definitely a good year for like anticipated games. I wouldn't pick this year just because most of those games aren't out yet and they could potentially be bad. So I'd base it off stuff that is already out. But I see where you're coming from, and yeah, I'm super excited for Doom. And then a week before, I think I mentioned this on the stream where we were talking about our most anticipated games of 2025, which were you on that one as well? That was also on Carl's channel.
Yes, it was, but I
Yes.
don't think Bliss, you were on that one. I can't remember.
I think we went through because I think I screwed up your Monster Hunter pick.
Yeah, because Bliss was
right.
on it because one of his was Adamfall, which comes out in a couple days, I think.
Exactly.
Yes. So that was another stream, which is also a good one. So yeah, there's, as I mentioned on that one, and my list has changed since then because we've had even some more games get announced. So there's 6 games that I'm like really excited for, and I haven't been excited for even one game for years essentially. So I definitely agree with you that this is definitely a good looking year for gaming. But for my pick, it'll be a year that's already passed, so we know the games we've already played them, or I have at least, so I know that they were actually good. So, but yeah, let's see here. Let me see. I should have that as well. Although the question is, do I have your pick? No, I only wrote down my picks on that anticipated stream, so I don't have yours. But I do remember you saying Adamfall. I do remember that one.
Yes, I know, because that's another one that's like kind of a Fallout game set in like London. So
Yeah,
also
it is.
available for pre-download on Game Pass right now. I just had that update yesterday.
Yeah, and
I'm
when is that one coming out?
The 27th.
25th? 27th?
Yeah, next week.
Okay,
Yeah.
next
Right
week.
around the
So
corner.
yeah, right around the corner. So, okay. Yeah. Yeah. That's where I was going with that. Is Doom Dark Ages. I'm super stoked for. A little one that I'm very much looking forward to, and I mentioned it on that stream, is Revenge of the Savage Planet, because I love Journey of the Savage Planet, and it was kind of out of clear blue that we were getting a sequel to it, since the studio that made Journey of the Savage Planet went under. So it's like, oh well, I guess we'll never see that franchise again, and we are. And then the one that, because we only talked about our top 5 on that stream, but one that was on my list has gotten bumped off, and that was Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. I am still very much looking forward to that, but because since then we got the announcement of Ninja Gaiden 4, which I am super stoked for, so that bumped Ragebound off. But I am looking forward to that. Subnautica 2, I cannot wait for that one as well, and of course Metroid Prime 4. So yeah, lots of good looking games coming out this year, and then some other ones that could be coming out this year. Gears E-Day, Mecha Break. I think I need to check out that demo because it looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, the demo is fun.
So, and then there are some other games that have been announced that they may or may not come out this year. We don't know. So yeah, lots of good stuff looking to come out this year. So so let's see here. Yeah, Lois is saying that this year is shaping up to be looking pretty good. Dude, GTA is way overrated. They're 7s or 8s, and they're deemed 11s. I do not disagree, because I think GTAs are overrated. Not bad, just overrated. So we got Jake Marino here. Nerdy Neo, my man. You turned me on like crazy. All right. Well, hello, Jake. Welcome. And I know Carl's looking forward to Expedition 33. That one's coming out here.
Yeah, so nice. I
soon
bought
as
it
well.
twice.
And what about you, Carl? I think, well, I'll just go ahead and let you take it on your answer to this question because we said recent. I specified 5 years, but it doesn't necessarily have to be because I know that when we, like I just mentioned, when we did that favorite years in gaming, yours was 2018, which is pretty recent. So, but if you have one more recent than that you thought was also a good year, I'd definitely be glad to hear it.
I stuck with the 5-year thing because I feel like that's a good one. I think 2023 is one of those really good years too, because I feel like it just had like the right amount of, AAA, AA, indie stuff. A lot of games came out that year that I absolutely have just started to adore. Dave the Diver came out that year.
Your avatar right now.
Yeah, so Dave the Diver, one of the best indie games, quote unquote. Some people like to say it's not an indie game, but whatever. It's one of the best games you could get for your value. Getting DLC this year, absolutely love that game. Bought it for so many people. I stand by that game. Slay the Princess, another one of those games that came out that year as well. As I've said it before many times, one of the more interesting and unique games I've ever played. Won my backlog game of the year last year for our little end of the year awards and honors. So, Hi-Fi Rush, which was my game of the year that year.
You love that game.
I absolutely love a lot of these games that came out this year. There was a lot of great indie games too that came out this year. I had to double check a couple release dates, but also a little game called Cocoon came out that year as well.
Oh, that's on my backlog to play.
Yes, Cocoon is a short game. It's like only 6 hours, so you could beat it in one day. Another indie game that came out that year, as well, which I actually did really enjoy as well, was Dredge. Did any of you guys play Dredge?
That's another one I have, but I have not played it yet.
I love that game.
That game is very fun. Fun Steam Deck game too as well. So for anyone's got a ROG Ally or Steam Deck, very fun, unique Cthulhu-esque horror fishing boat simulator game. Very fun. It
had a crossover with Dave the Diver, right?
It did.
It did.
Yes. It was also the year too that we saw a lot of the really good remakes come back as well. Metroid Prime and Dead Space came back in remakes and remasters too. So those are also two really good games that came out this year. I got to get back to Prime Remastered because you challenged me, and we can't forget too that Resident Evil 4 remake also came out that year as well.
All three of those remakes were in 2023. I did not
yes,
realize
they were.
That.
And then, of course, we got some, sequels to games that a lot of people were looking forward to. One of them I played, which I actually am a fan of the series, Armored Core 6, which was one of the more fun games that came out that year, as well as Alan Wake 2 and Pikmin 4. Alan Wake 2 is really great as well. I actually do love that game. I got to go back and play it, though, because I had a game-breaking glitch where I couldn't upgrade any of my weapons.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, so by the time they patched it, I forgot how to play the game. So I'm like, well, I'll restart this eventually.
Yep. Okay.
And then you can't be remiss by probably one of the more generation-defining games that came out this year, too, or that year. I keep saying this year, but that year was Baldur's Gate 3.
Ah, right.
So,
at 1.0.
So, definitely, when you look back at 2023, I think you're gonna remember that year because it was like a good mix of like new IPs. There was a lot of great sequels. There was a lot of great indie and AA support that year, and I feel like when we talk about a year of what makes video gaming really good, and it comes from like the bottom to the top. And I want to say all the games that were at the top were really great, and all the games that were I'm not when I say at the bottom, I mean the indie games, the people who are just throwing them out there, those games were also really great. A lot of the games I named were indie or AA games that I really do enjoy, and I feel like this was the one year where it's no matter where you were at on the spectrum for game of the year, everyone kind of was happy and satisfied with who won their personal game that year. I don't think anyone had this real crazy argument. The the Bethesda people, they love Starfield. The Remedy people liked Alan Wake. The D&D nerds got their big W with Baldur's Gate 3. I feel like it was just a great year. And like I said, I've been hyping the train on a lot of these games for almost 2 years now. Dave the Diver, Hi-Fi Rush, Slay the Princess. Like, these are all games that I've vouched for personally on many different shows. So that's why I kind of feel like 2023 is just a natural answer for me.
Excellent choice.
Good stuff. I haven't played like any of the things you mentioned, but some, like I said, some of them, a good number of them are on my backlog to play here coming up soon. So, well, good pick. Good pick. Vanquish is saying that there's not much info yet, but I'm hoping Terminator Survivors is good. It's a Survivor game in the Terminator universe. I have not heard about that one.
I've been keeping my eye on that one.
I did not even know that was a thing, but the one that just got announced last week, Terminator 2D No Fate, looks freaking awesome. I'm definitely looking forward to that game. So that's another one coming out this year that I look forward to playing. Lois saying Dave the Diver, and Vanquish also love Dave the Diver. Dude says I would prefer Lay the Princess.
Also, since we were just talking about that, I forgot the RoboCop game came out that year as well.
Oh, that's another one that's on my backlog. Rogue City.
That's getting a sequel this year.
Yeah, I've not heard anything but good things about that game. I'm very much looking forward to playing that.
It's on sale right now, Neo, on Woot for $25.
Oh, I already own it. I just haven't played it yet.
You need to play it. What the hell's wrong with you?
I've got like a list of like 400 games I'm going to be starting here soon. So.
400 games. Oh no.
I've got a lot. And Lois says Dave the Diver was number 6 on his top 10 from 2023. Nice. And Vanquish says Dredge and Dave the Diver were my go-to Steam Deck games. Awesome.
Yeah, those all very great games, like I said. And Dave the Diver and Dredge are really good portable games. I like I said, I can't speak highly enough about a lot of those games. Go play them.
Play them now.
Do it.
All right. What about you, Ryan? Do you have any recent games besides Fallout London?
Yeah. So I don't technically. I don't think Fallout London would. So I'm going to pick this year, and the reason is because there are several games coming out this year, and then there's one specific one that's actually already out. And I'm going to tell you why. So the first one, this is an independent studio. The first two are actually independent studios. One is Yasuka Simulator. Yeah. I want to play that because it is making fun of so wholeheartedly, and it's it literally comes out. It comes out in 2 days. So I might try to find a place to throw that in there. The next one is yes, it does. The next one is Mouse PI for Hire. Oh, that's a spoof on basically Steamboat Willie, which is the original Mickey Mouse. It's in black and white, and you're basically a PI, and you go around killing like old school Disney characters. So
yeah, it's like classic Doom, but with a Steamboat Willie coat of paint.
Yes. Adamfall is definitely very high on the list. I'm a massive Fallout fan. I want to play Adamfall really badly. I probably won't play it at launch because I'm just not one of those guys that runs out, and I used to be. But now that they're releasing games so often, not completed, I'm very hesitant to buy it just to jump out the gate.
Yeah,
I'll probably wait. There's a lot of other YouTubers that are a lot bigger than me that are probably going to play it right off the bat, that's fine. You got the money to do it, you go nuts. But I hate incomplete games; it drives me nuts. But the big reason I'm picking 2025 is because this is actually a game from the past. It is a remaster of a PlayStation 2 game. It is the Thing remaster, which is basically the sequel.
Didn't that come out last year?
No, it came out this year.
Oh. It literally came out last year.
No, literally came out this year. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Let me look at my live. Almost 100% positive that it came out this year because I just recently bought it.
It came out December of last year. So
dang it!
Close enough.
Close enough. Well, it's like everybody's thinking about next year in December. So
I've heard good things about it though. Although I don't know anything about the franchise. I've never seen the movie. Although James tells me that I should watch it.
You need to. So they did a prequel, which was fine. It wasn't great, but the original movie is incredible. the video game is incredible. So the fact that there's a remaster, I'm extremely excited for. So I guess I'll just say 24, 25 is I think really awesome. But I'm actually going to start playing the thing on Friday on a stream. I used to do it to play a horror game on Friday because
Oh,
and I'd
yeah.
have like all the lights off and it'd be all scary and stuff. Now it is a horror game in a sense, but it's not like Silent Hill horror.
Right.
It's kind of like horror, action horror, but I'm really looking forward to playing it. So I love the original movie, and the PlayStation 2 game was, for what it was really, really good. So
Yeah, I didn't even know that it, because I know it was originally on, or in addition to PS2, I know it was on original Xbox as well.
yep.
But I didn't even know that game existed until I heard about this remaster. I'm like, oh, didn't know there
Yep.
was a game for that movie.
Oh, it's a highly praised game. It's you get people that will still talk about it to this day. The people who have played it from the past. So, and I ended up buying it when I was in the military, and I played it, and and it was just so much fun because it's not really easy to kill the big enemies. You have to actually you have to work at it, and there'll be moments where you'll be doing something and they'll crash through a door, one of the big ones, and scare the shit out of you. So it's a blast. I'm really looking forward to it and playing it in modern graphics.
Yeah, it
Okay.
had that trust system, right? With like the little AI
Yes.
people that would walk
Yep.
with you, and if
Yep.
you did something which made them not trust you, they would freak out and maybe attack you.
Well, also at the same time too, like going depending on the stress level of each character. So like if they didn't have a gun, like going they'd be there. You could look at like the screen and you could tell because there'd be little things where they would little not motion capture, sorry, little animations where like if the guy was looking around like this, he's freaked out. If he was like doing this, he was like losing his mind and he's about ready to go homicidal on all of you. So you could actually have a squad member, and you'd find these guys throughout. You'd have a squad member actually flip out and become an enemy, and you have to kill him. So, if you gave him like a pistol, it would calm his nerves, right? And you go from being freaked out to like, mellow. Sometimes that, you'd have to give him a bigger gun. It just, like a shotgun or a MP5. But anyway, it's just a blast. So I'm looking forward to somebody says moo in the chat. Just
That's Amon
just
Ra.
just moo.
That's his customary greeting. What's up, Amon Ra? Good to see you. Moo to you too, buddy. So, all right. Vanquish says he loved RoboCop Road City, but I grew up on RoboCop, have so many figures on my shelves, so I'm biased. And he played the thing originally when it came out. He still got the disc for it. Great game. He's looking forward to the remasters.
I still have my original too.
I ordered the Steelbook edition for the Thing remaster, so I'm looking forward to getting that eventually.
Nice. I bought it on Steam, so I was, I kind of cut. I don't buy physical copies as much as I used to, and it kind of bums me out.
Was the physical through limited run?
No, it was through Atari proper, but it got like a main release on like everything. I got it from coming from VGP, the Canadian site.
Oh, I had to deal with the Canadians.
Yeah, their dollar is weaker than the American, so I save a little bit of money.
That makes sense. So, and dude's chastising me saying, only 400. I have 7,000 in my collection, and I've only 100%ed 365 of them. So, and your Canadians here. What's up, Canadian? So, as for myself, my favorite year within the last 5 years, although that's not technically the topic, but yeah, as we said, close enough. For me, was 2020. In some of our top 5 lists, I've got like 3 or 4 games from 2020 that are now in my top 5 of their genre. So, like Doom Eternal came out 2020. That was my number 1 when we did our top 5 shooters. I freaking love that game so much. My number 1 favorite Metroidvania of all time came out in 2020, a week apart from Doom Eternal. That was Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Another Metroidvania that I absolutely love came out that year, which is, I think, my number 4 and my number 5. And I already just mentioned it a few minutes ago, was Journey to the Savage Planet. Came out in 2020. I freaking love that game. I just helped Sherpa someone through it just last week. Or was it? Yeah, it was last week because there's an achievement for beating it in co-op. So I helped someone get that achievement because I just love playing that game. One that I have, thanks to Bliss, and I have not put enough time into it yet, but I'm looking forward to playing it more at some point, and that is Ghost of Tsushima. Came out in 2020. Although I just got it on Steam last year.
Yep.
But
I got that up. I got to play.
Good game.
I put about
a ton of fun.
15 or so hours into it, and I'm looking forward to getting back to it at some point because the time that I put into it, I've absolutely loved.
So nice. I platinum twice.
Oh, cool. Is it like the original and not the remaster, but like the Game of the Year edition? Okay. Or was
I have the PS4 and the PS5 copy, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's what I meant. PS4 or PS5, or was it like PS4 and Steam? Another game that I really liked, I've talked about a few times on Party Chat. I don't think Carl and I have talked about it, but I forget what his take was on it. But I really enjoyed it, and it was a Ubisoft game, and it was Immortals Phoenix Rising. I like that game a lot, and it was bright and colorful. And I love Greek mythology, so had a lot of fun with that one.
He likes the sexual escapades of Zeus the Mouse. That's his favorite part.
Wow.
I liked Greek mythology before I knew about all of the less than savory characters.
Yeah.
Neo read it and said, "You know what? Medusa did deserve it." That's what he said.
And another, Metroidvania, and I often, rant on how we have so few 3D Metroidvanias and even less so first-person Metroidvanias. I usually mention Journey to the Savage Planet, and then the other one also came out that year is Superland. It was a very puzzle-based first-person Metroidvania, and I really enjoyed that game. They both came out in 2020, which I didn't realize until I was putting this list together. And then the Ghost Runner game, which is the parkour cyber ninja game. That game was pretty freaking cool. I've got the second one, haven't played it yet, but I'm very much looking forward to playing it. There's a level in Split Fiction that is basically a ripoff of one of the mechanics from Ghost Runner 2, but in a good way. And then last one, a remaster, and one of the best remasters ever also came out in 2020, and that was Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1+2. So 2020 was an excellent year, had a lot of great games, and a lot of those are in some of my favorite games of those genres. So excellent year. So let's see here. Chat's moving a little too fast for me. So
that's a good thing. Come on, man.
Yeah, it is a good thing. Bliss saying I'm on my best behavior. He likes to push my buttons. That's why Canadians call him the sniper.
Did you see the guy that said he loved you?
I did, and then he said something about he had to go because his wife's boyfriend was home. So I don't know what that was about, but
I mean, come on now, you gotta acknowledge the man. You gotta let him know. Like it.
I said hi to him.
Say shout out to Jake. He says what he said was wow.
Yeah,
I said you turned me on like crazy. I have to say it, man. I have to say it. I'm sorry, you can't bypass that.
So I think that's your friend from Kick from a while back. He came over to YouTube.
Oh, is that the guy? Oh, I remember that.
I think so.
That could be. But Snap Rise here saying, how's it going? What's up, Snap? Lois is saying that 2017 was a great year. Zelda Breath of the Wild, although a lot of people disagree with that. Mario Odyssey and Nier Automata. I know those two have a lot of love.
Nier is a game I really should try to get into, but every time I try to get into it, I just can't.
Dude says, I'd tame Medusa. She just needed company after being banished. And Vanquish asked me when are you going to play Prince of Persia Lost Crown? Once I finish my completion percentage and I start all the games I've been backlogging, that's like at the top of the list because I have heard nothing but good things, and I played the demo and absolutely loved it, and it's Metroidvania, so it's up there at the top of one of the first few games I'm going to be playing. So within the next couple months.
Don't listen to him; he's lying.
So all right. So let's see here. So we had 2 for 2025. Carl was 2023, and I was 2020. So those are our favorite years. Favorite years in gaming of the last 5 years, and a lot of good games in all of those. And hopefully, a lot of the ones that are coming out this year will stand up to our anticipation of them.
Neo is the only person I know that said 2020 was a good year
for games. So, All right. So for this next topic, this is one that has been talked about on Party Chat before, but in Party Chat 1.0. But I think Ryan wasn't there for that episode, so it was just Mark and I and the guest. So of everyone here, I'm the only one who's talked about this topic before. So I was like, you know what, this is a great topic to revisit, and my answer has now changed for this topic as well since that time.
Oh.
And that's why I wanted to put it on the docket, because it was something that I was talking to, I think it was Dude about in one of our streams lately. So for this topic, I want to talk about your most annoying enemies in video games. So just to give you a little background on it, when we talked about this last time on Party Chat, however long ago that was, my answer, that's why I wanted to put this back on the docket, is because it was when it brought it back to my forefront of my mind, because Dude has been recently playing one of my favorite games, Ninja Gaiden. Although he's playing Ninja Gaiden Sigma, I haven't played that version yet, but I will be playing it soon. But it is based off Ninja Gaiden Black, which is one of my favorite games, which I am now playing through for the first time in forever as well. And when I originally answered this question, my answer was the incendiary shuriken ninjas from Ninja Gaiden / Ninja Gaiden Black, because sometimes they'll throw and you'll get stuck with 3 or 4 of them at one time, because they throw the incendiary shurikens that they throw have like a 2 or 2 second fuse or so, and then they explode and they stick in you. And so it's really annoying when they're just chucking them like crazy. And so that was originally my answer. And it's because I was watching him play it and the same thing was happening to him. And I was like, yeah, this is why when I originally talked about this topic, that was my answer, because he's feeling my pain on that. And you can't, once you get hit with it, the only way to not take damage is to roll at just the right time, because in your roll you have invincibility frames and you have to have it explode during your invincibility frames. Otherwise you're going to take damage. It's going to, knock you out of a combo or whatever. So, but because that was sometime probably early last year, I have played a game that I did not have a lot of fun with lately. And I finished that in January, and that was Dark Souls. And I now have a most annoying video game enemy of all time. And it's in the catacombs. There are these skeletons that are like, they're half skeleton, half like wagon wheel. And they just spin and they got spikes in them, and they'll just hit you and you'll infinitely stagger and you can't do anything. And they'll just keep rolling into you and you got full health and they'll kill you like that. And I don't know how many freaking times I died to these little a-holes. I hate these guys so much. By far, my most annoying enemy of all time, by a long shot. They take the incendiary shuriken ninjas from Ninja Gaiden Black and take a crap all over them. This is the most annoying enemy I've ever seen in any video game ever. So I want to hear from you guys what your most annoying video game enemies are. So, Bliss, what do you got for? Oh, dude, saying the bone wheel skeletons.
Can I just say something real quick about that?
Yes.
Neo?
Okay,
I thought it said boneless wing skeletons for a second. I just saw that that pop up, and it was like boneless.
Are you gonna get us on the boneless or bone-in wing debate?
No, I'm not. I just thought it said boneless wing skeleton. I was like, what?
The bone wheel skeletons are the most annoying enemy I think I've ever seen in any game. I've died to these guys so many freaking times, and I hate it. And there's a room, there's freaking 10 of them, and it's so they go past you, and so you got to go run to try to catch up to it to kill it before it turns around and comes back at you. But by that time, there's 3 more that are bearing down on you, and you just barely get touched, and you get staggered. And then once more than one is there, you're in infinite stagger loop, and you basically instantly die. They suck balls, and I hate these guys.
All right, so before Neo has an aneurysm, who were you going to, Neo? Sorry.
Oh, I was going to ask Bliss what his most annoying video game enemy was.
Now, I love Warframe, but the enemies, the bosses that have overly long invincibility periods where you can't do anything to them, there's no real fight going on. There was one thing where my little pet guy froze the boss and made it so he could hardly move. He was just moving really slow. And so that made it so that fight just was drawn out. Sitting there shooting him, nothing was happening. I could see that he's getting status effects, but just invincible. And it just really it pulls me out of the game, makes it it's all right, I'm just sitting here now, him waiting for the game to finally let me actually do some damage to him. So any boss that has an overly long period of invincibility, that just drives me up the wall.
Yeah, I would much prefer a boss that can take damage at any time, but it just takes smaller chunks than one that's invincible, and then you can only hit it, to do damage in these short little bursts. So
Right.
I totally get where you're coming from. So the bot, you were talking about something in particular. Do you remember what boss that was?
There's been a couple of them. Dude probably would know better. One of them was like some guy, and he just did melee attacks, and all I remember was like, just by luck of the draw, I had like that little companion that would just freeze him, and so he was just frozen. And I think he like needs to like do like enough melee attacks where they'll finally like make him so that he's vulnerable. But that just slowed the process down even further because he was just frozen solid, and he was just sitting there like
So
doing
when
nothing.
he's frozen, he's also invincible.
Yes.
Oh,
So
that is dumb. Yeah.
yeah. So my pet actually doing like something to him just like caused it, made the fight last even longer. And I was just like, it's Warframe. I think he was on Uranus, dude. It is because it's the one where you fight him and then you fight him. He's in a pair with another boss. So he wasn't as bad when he was with another boss, but just the first time I fought him, it was like I couldn't tell, like, am I doing something wrong? Like, is there a way to damage him that I'm just not figuring out? Like, is there like a hotspot on him? And so I'm like walking around him as he's just like frozen there as a popsicle, trying to shoot him anything to cause damage. And then finally, like, I think he got to the animation where he could actually be damaged. And then the fight was just like over instantly because I was probably way over leveled for it. But just the fact that you can over level your character, you could be like one of the, super powerful compared to what the boss is going to be, but the game just won't let you do anything to him. That drives me just batshit insane.
I get it. Yep. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but I know I've had that exact argument for why certain bosses have bad design before, so I get it.
Yep.
So, all right, Ryan, what about you? Do you have a most annoying video game enemy? I have a feeling, given that you have a love of Fallout, I might know. If yours is from Fallout, I might know which one it is.
I actually have. I'd say I have 2, maybe 3. The first one I'm going to go with is probably the most annoying, that drives me up the wall because I have slight OCD, is always going to be the ghouls in Fallout 4, because when they hit you, they irradiate you. And I hate being irradiated because it just, I always have to, and this is horrendous in Fallout London. There is barely any RadAway. I think I've played 20 hours now, and I think I found maybe 10 things of RadAway in this total.
How much RadAway? How many rads does RadAway get rid of?
It only gets rid of 300, and the thing is, though, is that so basically, if your meter's like this big, it takes a chunk about that big.
Okay.
It's something so minuscule at this point that it's just like, I want to pull my face off. So I hate having that little red bar on there. It just drives me up the wall. The other Fallout games are more generous. This mod is not.
Okay.
And so RadAway is probably the most scarce thing I have found in the game. I find more stim packs in RadX than I do RadAway.
Yeah, I don't. When I played, because the only Fallout I've actually played at length was 3, and I don't remember ever barely even having to use RadAway.
Yeah, no, and it's one of those things in the other Fallout games. Like I have like I try to carry. I have to limit how much I carry because I have so much. Like I'll try to limit to like 30 things. Like I've barely found, and I'm thinking maybe 10, probably even only 9 in 20 hours. And so like when they hit you, they jack you up with radiation so quickly with one hit, and it just makes you want to pull your face off. So that is my absolute worst one.
So you look like a ghoul by pulling your face off.
Yeah, pretty much. The next one is going to be it's from Fallout New Vegas.
That's where I thought you were going to go.
Quarry Junction. The death clause at Quarry Junction, if one shows up, one finds you, here comes the horde.
Oh,
and the thing is too that I have tried hiding in semi-trailers, and they will, because unfortunately the game mechanics, they can hit you through the semi-trailer wall and kill you. So you can't even hide in the semi-trailer with like your rifle because in Fallout New Vegas they're armored, right? So you have to have armor-piercing rounds to be able to penetrate. You can still
Okay.
shoot them with regular rounds, but it does like half the damage, if even that.
Okay.
So you can't hide in the trailer and just go and just sit there and shoot them, like because they can actually hit you through it and just like they'll kill you. So, but no, the absolute one because of my OCD is going to be the ghouls, especially the higher level they are, the more radiation damage they do. And in Fallout London, it drives me nuts because the Radaway is so scarce, and and the water is also irradiated too. So there's places where the water does 169 rads per second. So if you
Nice.
just in the water, just a splash in the water, like whoop, it jumps up, and I'm like, so that's going to be number one. That's
Okay. Not where I thought you were going, because when you mentioned New Vegas, I haven't played it yet, but I will be playing it at some point. I've heard like lists of video game lists.
I
Of,
think
like,
I know where you're going to go with it.
Enemies. What's that?
I think I know where you're going to go with this, and it's probably going to be my number 3 if I had to pick it.
What's that?
The Cazador.
Yes, that's where I was going.
Because when you get hit with the Cazador, it not only poisons you, it has a high probability of poisoning you. It doesn't do it every time, but there's a high probability it also will cripple a limb.
Oh.
So you have to use a stim pack, and you have to use I think it's Cure All or something like that, or something Cure Poison or something like that. So yeah, you have to and if you don't cure poison, then it'll take your health away. It'll nick away your health. So the
Like
Cazador
damage over time.
Yeah, pretty much. The Cazador is number 3 because they're almost as obnoxious because the damage over time and they can cripple a limb.
Yeah, I've seen those on lists of like most annoying video game enemies before, so that's where I thought you were going. So I will discover that for myself at some point.
Yeah, and I see what Seth is saying. Like the Cazadors are more annoying, in my opinion, than the Death Claws. The problem is the Death Claw is much harder to kill than a Cazador. So that's probably why I rank it higher because it is armored, and you have to have armor-piercing rounds.
Okay. Yeah, he's saying, and the Cazadors also hit like a freight train.
Oh yeah, they do absolutely. They don't hit as hard as a Death Claw, but they hit really hard. Like a Death Claw can kill you in 2 swipes, almost, and a Cazador will probably kill you in about 3 to 4, depending on the hit it gets.
And there's probably a lot of Cazadors, I'm assuming, since they're
they're
like swarm you.
No, they're swarm animals just like the Death Claws, yeah, and which makes them both just massively obnoxious.
So, all right, and Carl, what about you? What's your most annoying video game enemy?
I got 4, but 2 of them are basically the same thing. I gotta say the more annoying ones are the Zubat and the Tentacool from Pokemon.
Okay, I've not played Pokemon, as you know, but I know exactly why those are on your list.
It's the Zubat and the Zubat of the sea is what they're called. It's just because they just poison you, they confuse you, they sometimes don't let you escape, and they're just annoying, especially because they're numerous and they're everywhere.
They're everywhere.
Yeah. So they're proving that nature is about breeding out of control and being just dominant of numbers. Just like I said, they're just annoying and they're just wasting your times. Like you're trying to get through the game and then it's like, oh, here comes another Zubat. Oh, here's another Zubat. Oh, here's another Zubat. I'm like, I'm done. Even if you have repels, it's just like I don't want to. You don't get them early in the game, so they just artificially slow you down in ways that are annoying. My number 2 is the defensive backs in Madden 2013 specifically because you could never throw the freaking football. Or is it 13 or 12? I can't remember. The one with Peyton Hillis on the cover. I think it was 13 or 12. I can't remember.
No idea.
I just like when I was playing sports games with a buddy of mine. It's just like I could never throw the football. It's just like your wide receivers could never catch the football. The AI in that game was just juiced up. And my tight ends would have like 5,000 yards receiving every time I played because they're the only ones that they couldn't cover. The cornerbacks are just nightmares. That's what I hated the most. And my number one video game enemy.
Would not have expected to have a sports game on the list.
Because that's the reason. Because you just could never throw on them. Even on the lowest difficulty, you just couldn't throw on them. So they were just unstoppable. 10 out of 10. Would not recommend.
Because I don't even know all the positions on a football team. Was it like you get sacked all the time as the quarterback?
Cornerbacks are the people who go and stay with the wide receivers, the people who you throw the football to.
Okay, yeah.
And the reason why they were just annoying is because every time you would throw the football at a wide receiver, like the defensive back would be like right there to knock the ball away or intercept it, and it was just annoying. It's just like no matter what you could do. I like would cheat in that game and give my wide receivers like 99 overall ratings, and they would still get like blown out by like a 68 rated cornerback because it was ridiculous. And I was just like, fuck it, I quit. just like I'm done.
Okay.
But my number one video game enemy that is very annoying was a buddy of mine's cousin called Chris.
Chris is your most annoying enemy.
And the reason why I say this is when you play Monster Hunter and you're playing a group of 4 and you have a liability.
The weakest link in the chain.
Then the weakest link in the chain becomes you're playing on Dark Souls level difficulty plus.
Dang you, Chris!
No, I'm dead serious, all right? So this is the biggest issue I had, all right? This is why this is still triggers me to this very day.
I can't wait to hear the story.
He plays a weapon, it's called the Insect Glaive, okay? And the Insect Glaive is very fun to watch. Like, you see people flying through the air, doing crazy combos and everything else. It's like, oh, it's really cool and everything else like that. I am convinced to this very day that he was just jumping over the monster and, like, thought he was hitting it, but he was just whiffing. So he's just doing ballerina jumps over these giant monsters as we're getting, like, obliterated. And then he's just like, I'm helping, guys. I'm helping. And then he would die a lot. And then eventually we got to the point where it was just like, we called it the Chris challenge. And it's like every time that we played, and Chris was like, I need help with something. It's like, okay, so now we got to spec our gear to make sure that we keep Chris alive. Because it's no longer about hunting the monster. It's about making sure he doesn't die. So we had to put on all this extra gear, extra work. And we carried him so far until we finally got filtered. It just didn't matter.
That's hilarious.
So there's
unintentionally turned Monster Hunter into an escort mission.
It was a nightmare. And he was one of those guys too where he would die twice because you get 3 deaths in the game. But he would die twice, but if you died once, he'd get mad at you. And it's just I hated every minute of it. We finally were able to cut him loose once there's monster came out called Elatrion, which is basically like the Avatar dragon in that game where you can control different elements.
Okay.
And you have to hit like certain DPS checkpoints in order for you to be able to defeat him. And we just couldn't do it. Like no matter how much, like his cousin even came over and respec his gear to be able to help us, and we still couldn't do it. It was impossible.
Oh my goodness!
So that's my number one annoying video game enemy was supposedly my ally, Chris.
That's freaking hilarious. Oh, thank you for that story. That is great. That was a very surprising list. A sports game and someone you knew, maybe not in real life, but over the internet.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm a little offended as the guy who plays in the game. I probably would be as bad as he is. And be like,
Ryan would be Chris.
He'd be like, why do you guys keep inviting him? He's awful.
Because they just didn't want to tell him no. It was like he was the special needs kid that we had
to
hang out with. I was just
gonna say that he's the special needs kids that everyone takes pity on.
I don't know if I would be that terrible. It sounds like he's really awful, but I'd probably only be like a tier above, maybe better. So yeah, I'd still be like on the special needs level.
No, you'd be like Michael Jordan compared to him. I guarantee it.
Amazing.
I don't know about that.
He thought he was Michael Jordan. That's why he kept jumping over the monster and never doing anything. He was like, look, I'm recreating the Air Jordan. I'm like, great. That's not helping us. We're dying out here trying to keep you alive.
Oh, that's hilarious. I was literally just going to say that. All right. So I think catching up on chat here a little bit. Lowest expectations saying Cliff Racers. I think that's his answer to the question, but I have no idea what that is.
So Cliff Racers, that was Morrowind, and there was a flying enemy that was like Morrowind had like a chance to hit. So when you were, kind of a new character, you really kind of sucked. They were extremely hard to hit. One, because they're flying above you, they could hit you and you can't hit them.
Are these like
And
type of bugs, or are these like humanoid with wings?
kind of like a pterodactyl type thing.
Okay.
So yeah, they'd always constantly be flying in. You'd hear that screech, and you knew you were just dead. Your game was over.
Okay. Well, thank you for enlightening me on that. That's another game. I've heard lots of good things because I do love Oblivion and Skyrim, but I never did play Morrowind because I didn't get into it until Oblivion. So, Vanquish says most annoying enemy for me was Marauder Shields from Mass Effect 3 for not killing me before the ending. That's a good answer. As Snap says, when Neo talked about the most annoying enemies and Dark Souls in the same sentence, he immediately knew what I was going to say. Dude saying, sounds like Neo needs to get good. I did get good. I beat it twice.
Get good, scrub. God.
He's more information about Bliss, about your answer. He says, no, the one you're talking about is on Mars. Lieutenant Lek Frill. If it wasn't for the sergeant, he'd be the boss most in need of a rework. Lieutenant, I don't know if that's Lech or Leech. Krill. That's probably the boss that you're talking about.
It's not Lieutenant Diane.
Seth says, can confirm that Boston City is talking about is super tedious due to nonstop invincibility state. Understandable. Saying, I thought all modern Maddens were exactly the same. I thought so too. What was that, Ryan?
Oh, well, I forgot what I was going to say, but no, it seems like Madden is kind of like similar to the WWE games now, like the 2K ones, because they just add like a little bit to each one, and it kind of sucks.
Yeah, from the only thing I know about the Madden games is watching Angry Joe's review each year, and like how little effort they put into it. That you'll see banners in the background from the previous year's game. It's like that's just disgraceful for how many billions of dollars those games rake in.
Yeah, it's one reason I can't stand games like that where they basically rehash everything, and they just, we had a couple of this, a little bit of that, and then they sell it for $60, and you're like, dude, get out of here.
I know. Basically, it's just to buy for the cover athlete and to just relive your power fantasy with updated rosters.
And restart all your Madden Ultimate Team mode from scratch. It's like they should just release one game and just update the rosters every year, but that wouldn't make the money. So
I used to like to play the Madden games, like, way back when, but no, I can't. It's just like the WWE games. I used to love playing those when I was on the PlayStation 2. Like, those were worth it, but now, no.
2K5 was the last great NFL football game, and that game was amazing.
Yeah, I was never really into sports games. I did play a few sports games when I was younger. Nowadays, the only ones I'd be interested in are more the arcadey ones, like maybe like Mario or like Blitz or NBA Street sort of stuff. But Lois says, yeah, Morrowind, the Cliff Racers, they had high dodge rates, high detection rate, and range, so you couldn't sneak past them. They're always interrupting whatever you're doing. That definitely would make sense for a very annoying enemy. And Dude says, my Warframe friend group has someone like that. I'm assuming he's talking about like Chris. Let's just say they got me into Vermintide because they would rather play with me, who is underleveled and ignorant, than play with him anymore.
That, like I said,
that's funny.
That was my Monster Hunter World experience. And when we'd sit down and be like, Chris needs help with something, I'm like, does he? Does he really need help with something?
And it's one of those reasons that I don't like MMOs. Well, I do like them, but I don't. Like, I was very, very iffy about when the Old Republic came out, because you'd have to go into these dungeons and you'd have to do it with the team. And I'm like, I don't want to play with all of you. I don't like you. I don't want to play with you. Go away. And so that's why I was actually a big advocate for Fallout 76, because they flipped it and they're like, okay, if you want to play the game by yourself, play the game by yourself, and you can do it. And that's why I've always been a big advocate of that game, because it's like, okay, I can play traditional Fallout style. If I want to team up with somebody, which is going to be a no, I teamed up once during the beta, and it was with some guy. I think he was probably like in his early 20s at the time, and I was like, early 30s. I played like for 2 hours, and that was it. And I played with him again. So like, I can't stand that kind of stuff. So I feel you, dude.
That's
Monster
basically
Hunter-
why I fell off of Old Republic, is because I just didn't have anyone to play it with anymore, and it was kind of boring to play solo.
It's
Yes.
fine. It's fine. I just have bad luck with randoms. The only time I ever feel good is when I see Asian characters pop up like kanji, because then I go, "Oh, he's Asian, so he probably knows what he's doing with Monster Hunter."
Oh, like in their gamer tag or something?
Yeah, you can say, "Well, that's racist." I'm like, no, Monster Hunter is big in Japan.
I did not realize how big it was until you informed me. I was like,
I know,
"Oh,
that's
crap."
that's
I
why.
was blown away.
It's like the State Farm commercials. It's like if you see an Asian person in Monster Hunter, you feel safe. All right.
You racist piece of no. I'm kidding.
Listen, it's true. That's all I have to say.
You're like, I don't make the stereotypes, okay? It's just there.
It's like, listen, if I see an American name pop up, I gotta look side eye. If I see, a characteristic for noisy woman, I'm like, that guy probably knows what he's doing,
Let's see an American.
You're not wrong.
That's pretty funny.
All right. So next topic on the agenda for tonight is a topic I just came up with not too long ago, because not over the last 2 episodes, but over the last couple episodes, we did what is your favorite first game in a franchise, and what's your favorite second game in a franchise. We haven't done third yet. That'll be coming soon. But I had an idea. I was like, you know what? There's a lot of individual one-off games. There's a lot of trilogies. There's not a lot of franchises that only have 2 games. So I was like, hey, that'd make for a great question on Party Chat. What is your favorite game franchise that only has 2 games? So, Ryan, do you have a favorite franchise that only has 2 games in it?
Yeah, but you're not gonna like the way I phrase it.
Oh, uh-oh.
I'm gonna have to go with the original Fallout 1 and Fallout 2, because they were made by completely different companies, and they were very different stylistic games.
I would mark like Fallout 3 and 4 and New Vegas would be like 1, and then the 1 and 2 they're completely they're same franchise, but they're completely different games.
Yeah,
like,
they're
completely CRPGs.
Yeah, so they're completely different games. So I thought that might go well, or maybe not. But the thing is that I think the original Fallout 1, Fallout 1 and 2 are incredible games. They're very dated for their times, but at the same time, though, I think they hold up incredibly well. And it's just a very different, unique experience compared to playing Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, which I would lump them together, compared to Fallout 4 and Fallout 76. Those play differently than 3 and 4 do. I mean, they're similar, but they're still very different, because even the mechanics. So anyway, I'm going to go with Fallout 1 and Fallout 2, because the story for its time, I think was something so unique. And to have it be kind of like just a 2-off, and they sold the rights, which was kind of I'm glad they did. Because I think the game needed to advance. Because there's another set of games too. I can't think of what's it called. Gosh darn it. They're kind of similar too. But anyway, I'm gonna go with that, and then once I find them, because I have them in my
I agree. Like the isometric Fallouts, I don't really have much interest in playing, but I like a more open world, essentially first person shooter. That's Fallout 3 was the first one I played, and I really enjoyed it. And I just never got around to playing 4 and New Vegas, but I will be playing them.
Wasteland and Wasteland 2.
Oh, I think there's a Wasteland 3 as well, but
there is a Wasteland 3, but the thing is that something that actually I think works well is that Wasteland actually continued that kind of isometric, that kind of like Fallout-ish style.
Gotcha.
And so I don't know anything about 3, but I know that Wasteland 2, which is not that old. I think it's less than 10 years old. Kind of continued on, instead of switching the way Fallout did.
James just one of the Wasteland games showed up on Steam Roulette for James not too long ago, and he used some people in chat for the characters in his party, and I got to be one of them. It was freaking hilarious.
That's cool. No, the Wasteland games are very Fallout 2-ish. They have like an added sense of comedy to it that's almost kind of like it's clowny, but it's still they're very kind of like serious and screwed up games because the way people die is really dumb. So
Okay. Yeah, classic Fallouts. Oh, that's what I was gonna ask. Because I didn't like I had heard of Fallout before Fallout 3, but I didn't know like anything about them. But I could have sworn that there was another Fallout game from that before Fallout 3 era. I want to say it was called Brotherhood of Steel.
Yes,
yeah,
they kind of changed up how the game worked, but that was more of like a tactics type of
yeah,
game.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Rather
And
than
it
you
was
having like one
terrible.
character.
Yeah, no,
It
bro.
wasn't so bad.
So Brotherhood of Steel is semi-canonical. It is not fully canonical, and the reason I say this is because when it came to Fallout 1 and 2, it was fully canonical, but it wasn't the same as Fallout 1 and 2. So that's why it's kind of its own weird stepsister. And maybe redheaded stepchild is a better way to put it. But there are things from Fallout Brotherhood of Steel that did carry over into the Bethesda games that is considered Fallout lore. So like the first two games are completely lore accurate. Brotherhood of Steel is I probably 30% accurate if you
Okay.
don't mind. So anyway, I don't want to bore everybody about my Fallout knowledge, but yeah, I forgot. I forget about Brotherhood of Steel. I have that in my Steam library too. So like, I have all the Fallout games in my Steam library.
Okay. So a completely different type of game than 1
Yeah.
and 2, though. Okay.
Yeah, it's a different game. It's more tactics style, and that's one reason that it didn't do as well. And it was even a little more far fetched than maybe 2 was, and I think that maybe turned some people off too. So
Okay. All right. What about you, Bliss? What's your favorite franchise with only 2 games?
I would have to go with Portal,
Oh,
right?
that is in my list.
Because Portal, like I probably played more of like the second one before I went back and like actually finished the first one.
The first one's
Man, oh
almost more
man,
like a
like
tech demo. It's really short.
yeah, but like that game, like you could play it the co-op. I
I
fell in love with the co-op mode.
I
Like,
love it. I just helped someone through the co-op of Portal 2 last week as well.
it came out in
so
2007.
It was in orange. Well, Portal came out in the orange box, and the orange box came out in 2007. Portal 2, I
Okay,
want to say, was like
2011.
oh, that sounds about right.
that sounds
The
right.
the reason I'm saying this is because I'm literally looking at them right now on Steam, and it's like both of them are on sale for like $2.
Yeah, if you like puzzle
Absolutely worth
games,
it.
totally worth it. They are phenomenal. The Portal games are like my favorite puzzle games ever.
Yeah, it comes with a bundle for $3. It's like that's I might have to take a look at this because I have heard of the Portal games, but I've never ever played them.
They're fantastic. So
They're great.
yeah, that was absolutely in my list. I love the Portal games.
He's
Oh,
on,
and I
don't
guess I
listen to
should
him.
mention too. There's actually 2 Fallout games that are Brotherhood of Steel. There is the Fallout
Yep,
Tactics Brotherhood of Steel,
yep,
and this
and
awful action RPG one.
yeah,
It's like
that's
on
the
PlayStation.
Nintendo 64 version, and it does not
There was a
exist.
Fallout on N64.
There was a Fallout on N64. It does not exist. It is basically the biggest pile of dogs in the face of the gaming history, probably.
So
Huh.
So we don't talk about that. And there is nothing from that is lore accurate, period, or accepted at all by anybody ever. So like I said, the one on the PC it was kind of like the sequel to 1 and 2, which again they're not the same games. It is accepted, but the one on the Nintendo 64 is not, and I don't even know if you can find that piece of crap.
yeah, I'm not sure.
I
I would love
Googled
to
it.
find it as a collector. I'd love to find it, but I don't think
I
you could.
Googled it, and I Googled Fallout N64. The first thing that comes out is a Reddit post saying, "Hey, does anyone remember Fallout on the N64?" And people are like, "I think what you played is some sort of like homebrew, like made up game. Like it was never like an actual like legitimately released game."
I know
Maybe
that Brotherhood of Steel got released on like PlayStation 2 and Xbox as well.
did it? Okay, I just know it was on the Nintendo
Brotherhood of Steel,
64.
yes, was on PS2 and on Xbox.
Okay, I do remember it definitely on the
Yeah.
N64. But like I said, it's something that nobody accepts that thing. But if I could find what copy of it, physical copy, I would absolutely buy it just for the nostalgia because it is also awful.
Brotherhood of Steel on PS2. Someone is currently in the process of developing an achievement set for it for retro achievements.
There you
Why?
go. There you go.
Why? We don't need that. Let's not. And say we did. Let's just not, though.
But why?
Yeah, just but why?
So all right, yeah, Portal, excellent. I have a number of franchises that I absolutely love with 2 games in them, and Portal is up there at the top. So I love the Portal games, and anytime Portal gets mentioned, I've got it on the 360 version. If anyone wants to play the co-op or needs help getting through it, absolutely happy to help because I love that game, and I'm fresh off of it too since I just played it again for the first time in like 5 or 6 years just last week.
We got like 17 co-op games we need to play, Neo.
Yes, we do. And dude says there isn't a Fallout game on the N64. I know my N64 collection is close to completion. So yeah, it must have been like some sort of like homebrew or something, Ryan. So yeah, nothing ever officially released from like the actual Fallout team. So that's probably why it's absolutely not anywhere close to being canonical. So, and DJ says The Darkness is probably, or probably The Suffering would be my favorite franchise. The only 2 games. I have The Darkness 1 and 2. That's also my backlog to play, and I only picked those up because James spoke so highly of them. I did play The Darkness demo when it came out because I had The Darkness demo on one of my official Xbox Magazine demo discs. So I did play the demo. It was a pretty cool concept, but I just never got around to playing it. So I didn't even think about that as one of the franchises that has 2 games. So good shout out. The Suffering, I've never even heard of that one. So, what about you, Carl? What's your favorite with only 2 games?
Oh, there's quite a few I could pick from, actually.
It looks. Sorry, my bad, dude. Go ahead. I was gonna say something after.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with one of my classic ones because I never thought this game would ever get a sequel until the Game Awards announced it, and that is Psychonauts. Psychonauts 1 and 2. Oh, Neil?
Oh, I forgot
I
I
was
was
gonna
muted.
say. I got scared for a second.
Well, for half a second, I thought I froze. I'm like, what the hell's going on?
No, I was saying, I know how much you love Psychonauts, so good pick. I didn't even think of that one either because I haven't played them.
Yes, first game, love it a lot. I am the milkman. My milk is delicious. One of the more classic lines from that game. I love those Tim Burton-esque art style games. Tim Schafer is one of my favorite game developers out there, even though he is a raging San Franciscoite. I still respect his work because Double Fine has made a lot of video games I enjoy. One of them I actually finally played this year was Costume Quest, which is very fun, bite-sized little RPG that was absolutely fun. I can't wait to play the second one soon.
Okay, I was just going to ask you the second one because I played most of the second one. It's still one of those ones where I'm kind of like playing through it in short bits and pieces whenever, and I need an achievement from it for a contest. So, but I've heard that it's not as good. So I was going to ask you if you had played it, how you would compare to the first one. So, but you haven't played it yet, so.
I have not played it yet. I got to go back and play the DLC for Costume Quest because that's a tie-in to Costume Quest 2.
Okay.
So that's something I need to do. But we're talking about Psychonauts. Really did enjoy the second one a lot. I really did enjoy the platforming and everything, and I just really love the world of Psychonauts. Like I said, I enjoy that messed up Tim Burton-esque art style the most. I don't really hate realistic graphics, but I love the more Gothic German kind of like old school black and white horror film kind of things, the silent film art style. So I kind of like that transitioning over to like the modern day, feel as well. Plus, they're funny. They actually have some really good humor.
Yeah, I've played a few Double Fine games. I got to shake Tim Schafer's hand at WonderCon one year.
Oh, nice.
Let's see here. The first one that comes to mind was Stacking because it was a puzzle game. So that's why I played that one.
Brutal Legend is one of the like everyone's
right.
favorite.
I've not played that one because I heard there was a lot of controversy in that it basically shifted genres in the middle of the game, and no one was expecting that.
Yeah, but I like RTS games, and that's why it was cool.
Yeah, totally understand. I know a lot of people, do love that game. I thought it was gonna be like another like Guitar Hero clone, and then I heard it's like nothing like Guitar Hero. I was like, okay. Maybe I should give it a shot some point.
You should. It's fun. It's got like probably the only other times where you can listen to Ozzy Osbourne and Lemmy and all these other famous rock and roll stars too.
Yeah, that game was really neat.
Brutal.
So also, did anyone ever play Trenched? I think it may have changed its name because of
yes.
issues.
Yes. So it's funny. I just finally beat that game, got the last few achievements last year. So originally it was called Trenched. It had that name for like a year or two. And then some company over in like Europe, like filed a lawsuit against that game because of they had like some sort of like digging trenching business and they won the lawsuit. I don't know the details, but that's kind of like the gist of it. And so they had to change the name from Trenched to Iron Brigade. And it's a Double Fine game. And it's like it takes place in like this World War II type setting. But you have mechs and you fight aliens that are all built basically like various forms of like tube TVs. It's very difficult on your own. I tried doing it solo. I beat the game on solo. I literally could not beat the DLC on solo. I had to get a group together because the DLC was quite difficult. But that was a pretty cool game. So I was just looking up the Double Fine games, see which ones I played, and hadn't gotten to that one on the list yet. But yeah, I played Iron Brigade, all of their point and click remastered, Grim Fandango, Day of the Tentacle, Full Throttle. Headlander, that was I didn't even realize that was Double Fine until not that long ago because I played that when it was on Game Pass. That was a Metroidvania. So
that's an interesting concept.
And there's basically it's called Headlander because you basically control the head, but you can detach it and connect it to different bodies that have different abilities. The Cave. I didn't realize the Cave was Double Fine as well, but it definitely has. Now that I think about it, definitely has their definitely feels like a Double Fine game. That's one that I played. You have to play through it like 3 or 4 times with different characters, and I've done it like once. Another one I need to go back to at some point. And yeah, Stacking and Brutal Legend. I haven't played Brutal Legend though, so maybe I'll have to give that and Brutal Legend, that's what I was looking for. It is on Game Pass Standard, if anyone was interested. But okay, cool. Maybe that's another game I'll need to add to my play later list. Strategy open world. So
I got followed by somebody on Twitter called CUNT Una Losers.
Alrighty then.
I don't know what that means. Is that making fun of me, or is that like that's a weird notification? But all right, thanks for the follow, whoever you are. CUNT and losers.
And Snap says, I'm down, Neo, but I only have Portal on Steam. And I forgot to mention, I did pick Portal and Portal 2 up on Steam as well because they go on sale for, like Ryan mentioned, for a couple of dollars. So I've played Portal. I've beaten the Portal campaign on Steam. I haven't done the challenges yet, but I have not started Portal 2 on Steam. But I do have them both because they are excellent games and they go on sale for super cheap. So, Bliss, this is something I just thought of since you are a fan of Portal. I have this. I've not played it yet, but I'm very much looking forward to playing it. Are you familiar or have heard of Portal Revolution?
I have not.
So it's a free game on Steam, and it's basically a mod of Portal 2, and they add new mechanics into it. So I'm very much looking forward to playing it. If you like Portal, look at Portal Revolution.
Nice. Does it do like the co-op mode as well?
That I don't know. I would have
awesome.
to look into that. I hope it has co-op. That would be fantastic. But I don't know for sure if it does. But it is a free game on Steam. Although I don't know if you have to own Portal in order to get it for free or whether it's just free regardless. But yeah, if you like Portal, check out Portal Revolution. And it adds some cool new mechanics. And I'm looking forward to playing that at some point as well. So yeah, Snap, we could definitely do that at some point. And dude saying the only duologies I can really think of left are KOTOR. I didn't even think about that one, but I know that'd be a one up there as well. And Left 4 Dead. Yeah, that's another one with only 2. So I think I'm the only one who hasn't gone yet, or did I miss someone?
No, I think you're the only one who hasn't gone.
All right. So I'll kind of start at the bottom, kind of work my way up to my number one answer. So and there are a few more, dude, that only have 2 games in them. So a duology that I really enjoyed. Kind of like the Fallout one, where these games are in a bigger franchise, but I would say they're enough different from the rest of them. That's the not Fallout, Rainbow Six Vegas. I was thinking Fallout New Vegas, but Rainbow Six Vegas 1 and 2. Those were great games. I like those a lot. So that's why I put them down on the list, because they may or may not actually qualify for this topic, depending on how you look at it. But those were great games, and I enjoyed those a lot. Another duology, I've only played the first one, but I really liked it. I'm going to be playing the second one. I just haven't done it yet. And that's the Prototype games. Those games are freaking awesome. At least the first one is. You get infected with this like virus, and you get all these cool superpowers, and it's basically a city destruction simulator, and it's a lot of fun. Portal got mentioned. That would probably be my second favorite. But there is a Metroidvania that is great and is a duology and was a lot of fun and had a lot of Easter eggs, had a lot of comedy, bright and colorful. That's Guacamelee. Those were a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, as soon as I said Metroidvania, Carl, you're like, oh, it's Guacamelee.
Yeah.
Those were a lot of fun. I did like the first one better, but they were both fun Metroidvanias. You play as a luchador, then you get basically your special powers from your luchador mask, and those were great. And then my number one, although I would say Portal would probably be tied with this, because I've said Valve can't count to 3, but if they could, I'd probably take Portal. But my other favorite number one duology is Half-Life 1 and 2. Those are also phenomenal games. I would absolutely love Fallout or Half-Life 3, although I guess because I don't really consider Half-Life Alyx, even though it is technically the next one, but it's VR only, and so I don't really consider that one because not a lot of people even have VR to play it. So if you did count Half-Life Alyx, then I guess Half-Life wouldn't count, so it would be Portal. But I'm not counting Alyx because I haven't played it, and not a lot of people have. So my other number one choice would be Half-Life. But if I had to choose between Half-Life 3 and Portal 3, I would actually choose Portal 3 because I love Portal so freaking much. But because it hadn't gotten mentioned yet, Half-Life 2 or Half-Life 1 and 2, or it would be my other favorite duology. Oh my goodness. That's right. I can't believe I didn't think about that. I'm an idiot. Thank you, dude, I can't believe I blanked on that and didn't put it on my list of favorite duologies. That is the Ori games. I think I originally wrote it down, and then when I transferred my notes from one notepad to another, I think I missed that one. Because I do remember writing it, and I totally forgot it, and those are my favorite Metroidvanias ever. So I can't believe I spaced on that. Thank you, dude, for reminding me that Ori is also a duology, and I freaking love those games as well. Another Metroidvania, and those games are phenomenal as well. So thank you, dude. Shout out for filling in my bad memory on forgetting one of my favorite games of all time. And Lowest Expectation says Nier is kind of a duology. I don't know anything about the Nier games, but I know that there is Nier and Nier Replicant. So that definitely sounds like it to me. So
all I know is that 2B is an industry plant like Aloy. That's my theory.
I don't know what that means, industry plant. Like
silence.
All right. Well, I guess we're moving on then. I was waiting for him to fill me in, but on what that meant. But
basically, it'd be like you don't deserve to be there. You either got there through like your contacts or
okay,
or that kind of thing.
Gotcha. I understand. So, all right. And Lois is saying that well, maybe not because the mobile game is allegedly part of the canon. If it's a mobile game, that doesn't really count. Kind of like I wasn't counting Half-Life Alyx, so I would say it counts. So. And dude saying Final Fantasy X is duology. So
the best duology that we did not talk about, good old Project X Zone 1 and 2.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know you've had a lot of good things to say about that game.
Yes, and Beautiful Joe 1 and 2.
Oh, that's right. I've heard that game get mentioned quite a lot recently in various different settings, and it wasn't all due to the same thing. So.
And if I'm going to give the Ryan answer, we're going to say Dino Crisis 1 and 2
because 3 doesn't exist.
We don't talk about number 3.
Dinosaurs in space, from what I hear. I haven't played any of them.
As far as I understand it, there's only 2 Dino Crises too. So
yeah, understandable. So we got Kick over on Kicks, and hello, Neil. Well, hello, welcome. We're talking about some fun video game topics. Welcome, and I hope you enjoy. So. All right. So next topic on the agenda is something that I've mentioned on a variety of streams, usually on open mic, but I don't think I've ever talked about it on Party Chat before. And it was on one of my recent open mics. Someone brought this up again. I was like, you know what? I'm going to put that on an upcoming Party Chat to talk about it again with some other people and see what they have to say about it and if they've had any similar experiences. So, and what that is if you've had any sort of crazy story of like data corruption, loss of saved data, lost your memory card, game got stolen, some sort of loss of video game data, you had a lot of hours in a game, something got corrupted or deleted. So curious if you have a story of like heartbreak of losing some sort of video game, character data of any kind. So it's kind of open, but I have a couple things that I wanted to mention. And so that's why I was like, you know what, let's put this as a Party Chat topic. So Carl, do you have any stories of video game data loss?
1 second, I'm eating a date.
All right.
I can go really quick. Trust me. It's really simple.
Go for it.
Fallout New Vegas, 23 hours in, crashed, corrupted, PlayStation 3. I had to start completely over, which is now why in every single game that I play, I have multiple saves and I save frequently. If you watch me play Fallout London, I save probably every 20 minutes. I'm not joking.
20 minutes, man. I save way the heck more often than that.
I mean, well, 20 minutes I can deal with. 2 hours, I'm gonna lose my.
I had that happen one time it was either Oblivion or Skyrim, because it automatically saves whenever you go through a door. But I was just out in the wild adventuring and stuff for like a couple hours, and then I died, and then it respawned me like a couple hours ago. I'm like, son of a! I forgot to save that whole time.
Yep.
I just thought of that. So I understand.
Yeah, I've still made the mistake every once in a great while, but I'm a lot more methodical. But yeah, you'll watch me play Fallout London, and I save probably roughly every 20 minutes. And I'll be like, oh, I'm going to talk to this person. It's time to save. Oh, well, and it's nice too when you go into your like Pip-Boy, it'll actually auto save for you too, which is good. That helps. But no, losing 23 hours, that's back when I would lose my temper and throw controllers. I think I broke that controller.
I've never broken a controller to the point it doesn't work, but I have.
Oh, I have.
Where some of my 360 controllers have kind of like started to split a little bit from the top part to the bottom part. So
I spiked the controller and it didn't completely break, so I spiked it again and it exploded. I don't do that anymore because when you have to buy a brand new controller at $50 a pop, you pull your head out your butt and you stop.
Yeah, controllers are getting just as expensive as games now, so I totally get it. But yeah, forgetting to save or something, or some sort of data corruption like that. Yeah, that's frustrating. So, all right, Carl, you good?
Yeah, I'm good now.
All right.
My worst one was when I had to reformat my Xbox 360, and it wiped away all my Mass Effect data in one go when I was saving up for Mass Effect 3.
Ooh. What was the cause for the reformat?
I was selling it, and I was trying to transfer stuff, and I guess I just reformatted the hard drive.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah, so that was like probably like thousands of hours I put in from day one till just before Mass Effect 3 when I think I was getting what was I getting? The Halo Reach 360. Instead, I fucked up the entire hard drive.
Oh, that sucks. So you lost all your Mass Effect data. Oof.
Yeah, that's the only one I can really think of. That and I was playing Valkyria Chronicles for the Switch, and I kept putting it in rest mode, and I thought I saved, and then I quit out a fight and realized I had just wasted 20 hours.
Oh, ouch. So just like similar to Ryan's, losing all that Fallout data. That's painful. So, what about you, Bliss? You got any heartbreaking stories?
Well, I'll start off with an honorable mention. That is when you lend your friend a game and you never get that game back.
That absolutely counts. What game was that?
Oh boy, I think I lost Warcraft 3 because you lend it and then you just never gave it back ever. Mario Kart. I think I got that. It was to a guy at work, and he was like, "Hey, my girlfriend really wants to play that. Do you mind if I borrow it?" It's like, "Okay, sure." Let him borrow it, and he's like, "Oh, by the way, here, I have this game," and I think it was like, what was that spy series with like Matt Damon? It's
The
like a
Bourne
movie.
series.
Yeah, I think there was like a Bourne game or something.
There was
And
a
he's like,
Bourne Legacy game.
yeah, he's like, I
Bourne
don't
Con-
really want this. You take it. I'm like,
uh,
okay, sure, thanks, man.
I
And then he's
played it.
like,
I think it was called the Bourne Conspiracy.
yeah. And then a few months later, I'm like, oh, you were
Yes.
gonna get back the Mario Kart? And he's like, well, I gave you Bourne. I was like, yeah, but
I want my Mario Kart back.
right, I wasn't trading you for the game.
Yeah.
So
Bourne
Yeah.
Conspiracy. I played that one back in 2008.
I hate those movies.
yeah.
Oh, what? Oh,
I hate
But I
it.
think the biggest loss was
Loveland was my
obviously
favorite author.
the Red Ring of Death. Like I had an Xbox that went down early, and back then, like it was kind of hard to find out like what was going on. You were starting to hear that, like there was widespread problems with it. I remember having to send it in. It was, I was a young idiot. I didn't really know how to like send it in or where to go. So I'm like trying to send this thing in. Of course, UPS did the thing where like they drive by and attempt to deliver it. And you just find a sticker on your door. Then ring the doorbell.
Yes.
So I had to go in and stand in line for hours for them to unload the truck again and actually give me back my system. So it was just a nightmare.
I had 3 red rings of death. Fortunately, it was fairly painless. They sent me a box and I put it in and sent it back. But I think I did have to be there in order to receive it. So yeah, I know what you're talking about. So all right. This didn't happen to me, but a story I read one time, because another, I think we talked about it on the first episode of Party Chat, was what game you have the most hours in. And for me, it's the original Destiny. And that's the reason why I created a Reddit account, because it was just to be in the Destiny Reddit when that's like all I was playing. And I read a Reddit post of someone who had I don't have it handy, but the 360 Elite controller, which has paddles on the back. And he put his controller down on the main menu. And on the main menu where you pick your character, if you hover over a character, X is the delete button. And he put his controller down and it hit the X paddle and deleted his character on Destiny. So I felt for him a lot. And I made sure that once I got an Elite controller, I made sure that never happened. So I felt bad for that person. So didn't happen to me, but a painful story I read. So a couple of things that I've had happen was I had my data loss. It in the middle of playing. It was Arkham Origins, and I think I was playing New Game Plus. I think I was playing through on my second playthrough, and I was just in the middle of the game, and like the game like froze or something and closed. And when I launched it, all the data was gone. I was like, that's really weird. Like, okay, I'll just load it from the cloud save. It had deleted itself from the cloud save as well. So I lost all the Arkham Origins data and had to start over from scratch, which wasn't too bad. Wasn't too big of an issue because it is not a terribly long game. But in order to, the only thing I really had left was, well, the only thing that I could do left, because there are multiplayer achievements in that one, but the multiplayer has since been shut down, so you can't get those achievements anymore. But there are achievements for the different challenges, but they don't unlock until a certain way through the game. So I need to play through the game again just to unlock all those challenges, so then I can do the challenges to get the achievements for those challenges. I just haven't gone back and played through it again, but I will at some point. So that one was really freaking weird, how I was in the middle of playing it and it just deleted the data both from the local save and from the cloud save. So I was a little upset about that, but not nearly as much as a couple of these other ones. And the earliest one for me was when my house got robbed. And I think it's because we were having our house remodeled and they like scoped out the place and they were set up the window to my room. They like cracked it open so much, so little that the alarm didn't detect that it was open, but open enough so that the latch wasn't closed. So they could come back and slide it open from the outside, and they came and robbed us and stole a bunch of stuff. They stole my Game Boy Advance and basically all of my Game Boy games, so I was not happy about that. But the main reason why I want to talk about this, because it's my absolute worst story, and the one that I've talked about before, but I want to talk about on Party Chat again, is from Forza Motorsport 3. Because I like racing games, both arcade and simulation. I got really into Forza 2 and 3, and I had the steering wheel, and I had a lot of fun playing those games. And there are, I think, on Forza Motorsport 3, I think I only had one achievement left. Let me... I was almost there. Let me pull it up here real quick. Forza 3, I have 49 out of 50 achievements. So yes, I have one achievement left on Forza 3. And that last achievement is for getting a gold in every race in the game. Anyone want to take a guess at how many races there are in Forza 3?
I couldn't even imagine.
There are 969 races in Forza 3.
That's
I was at about 200, or not 200. I was about 920 races gold. So I was at the final stretch, and my save data corrupted, and I lost everything. So at that point, I was like, screw this franchise. I'm never playing again. I've not played Forza again, except I did boot up Forza Horizon 4 or 5 just for a Game Pass quest to get points, and I basically just had to do the first race. But other than that, I have not touched Forza since because of that. They are great games, but I'm still salty at Forza for deleting probably 200 hours of races, if not more. I was very mad about that. I gave both Forza 2 and 3 and my steering wheel to my friend. I'm like, here, you can have it. I'm done. So that was my most frustrating loss of data in a video game, was losing hundreds of hours of Forza when I was basically this close to getting all the gold medals. So,
wow.
Yeah, I'm still haven't recovered. So they are great games. And I know Carl loves the Horizon games, although those are very different than the motorsport games. The motorsport games are simulation racing, and the Horizon games are more arcade racing.
Yeah, play empowered.
They're all great games, but I'm still salty at Forza because of that. But they are all not quick games. They're all 100+ hour completions. So it definitely doesn't help it bump up my wish list of games I want to play. So, all right, let's chat here. Let's see here. All right, here we go. Lowest expectation was saying Golden Sun was a duology for a long time too. Then the garbage third one came out. Dude says Soul Calibur 3 is notorious for having its save file corrupted. Almost had a completed 100% save file, and it happened. That sucks. I feel for you, even though I've never played Soul Calibur. Lowest expectation lost 100% completed Sonic Adventure 2 data once. I was playing 2-player mode with his bro. Made him mad, and he shut off the console while it was auto-saving, and he lost. Ooh, that sucks. Especially when it's not due to the game, and it's something that, user error. Maybe not your own user error, but due to someone's user error. That sucks. Snap has the worst story on this. Sony had a corrupt update on PS3 that ended up breaking the whole console in 2010. Okay, that sucks royally that you lost your whole console for that. Found a way to roll back, but had to reformat the hard drive and lost all my data on my whole PS3. That sucks. So, dude says Souls games are pretty good about not letting you lose progression when it comes to saving. Yeah. It's almost difficult to save scum in that game for certain things because it's like constantly saving. So, although it is kind of annoying when something auto saves when you don't want it to, but I would rather have more auto saves than less. So, Seth says the bad part about New Vegas crashing on PS3 was that the game would actually get less stable the more saves you did. Not sure if that ever got fixed. I heard about that, and I think Oblivion might have had the same problem, that if your save file got too big, it would just either brick the console or just your save file would go bad. So I've heard about that.
Yep, with New Vegas, I had a save file by the end of it. There was about 8,000. So it was 8K.
Oh my goodness. And DJ saying I had an SSD die in the middle of a Half-Life stream that caused me to lose music, masters, artwork, and of course save files. That drive was only 6 months old. Oh, more than just save data, actual real work that you did. That sucks. Is that when you were doing your stream to raise money to get a new computer? Is that what that was from? I remember that. I just didn't realize that that was all tied together in the same thing. So heart goes out for you, Seth. But I think Bliss, you sent him your old PC. Is that right?
I sent Paul my old PC.
Paul, your old PC. Okay.
DJ got a brand new one.
Oh, that sucks. And only 6 months old too for an SSD. That sucks royally. So I hope you were able to get all of that back somehow. But yeah,
I don't think he did.
I feel sorry.
I think it was just gone.
That I would be surprised if he did. But shout out to DJ for all that lost work. I feel sorry for you, man. So it's all right. Well, last topic for tonight, as usual, is talking about our favorite game from the next year on the list, and that is 2002. So, what is everyone's favorite game from the year 2002?
Mind if I go first? I got a heart out.
All right, go for
3 minutes. Mine is going to be Star Wars Jedi Knight.
Yes,
2 Jedi
that is
Outcast.
on my list. That is very up there at the close to the top for me. I absolutely love that game so much.
Yep, no, that's my absolute favorite. I love it. I have it on my Steam list. I'm going to play it one of these days again and stream it. I wish I didn't have to go, but I got a heart out. So everybody go to my channel, Legion Talk. I'm going to be playing Dustborn starting tomorrow. Wednesdays are going to be where I play an awful game. So it's going to be Dustborn first, then Forspoken. So it was awesome hanging out with you guys again. Insidious, always good to see you. And of course, Carl.
Quick
always
question:
a
what did you play Outcast on? Was it Xbox or PC?
I was on
Okay.
the PC the first time. It was when I went to the military. I didn't get a chance to play it on the Xbox.
PC's
so
the
I
better
got
one
it on the
anyways.
PC. Yeah, so I'm gonna play it on Steam. But yeah, no, it was great to talk about this stuff again. So appreciate it, gentlemen, and I will definitely see you guys in 2 weeks.
Sounds good. Glad to have you back. And we will talk to you later. Have a good one, Ryan. Good night.
Yep.
So, hey, and Star Wars Marvel Purist is here saying, "What's up? Hope you're doing well." What's up, Purist? Good to see you. And hopping in as soon as Star Wars get mentioned. Yeah, Jedi Outcast was phenomenal. I love that game so much. That is my favorite series of Star Wars games. I would pick Jedi Outcast over or Jedi Academy over it, although that didn't come out until I think the year after. But it is still an absolutely great game. And I just played it again for the first time in years, just last year. But I played the GameCube version because I was playing it for retro achievements because GameCube just got retro achievements last summer.
Yeah.
The GameCube version is not good. Definitely play it on at least Xbox, but the PC is definitely the best version to play for Jedi Outcast.
It's
But
on
great
PlayStation 4 right now too, and Switch.
That's right.
Basically,
it
on
came
everything.
out on PS4 and Switch last year as not a remaster, but basically a port. And those are probably better than the GameCube version as well, would be my guess.
Yeah, and it is backwards compatible on Xbox too, right?
It is, yes. You can play the original Xbox version of Jedi Outcast and Jedi Academy on any generation of Xbox. Great
And
games.
it does have upscaling, and it does play a little bit more consistent frames too compared to like original hardware.
So that is definitely on my list of favorite games from 2002. Love that game so much. So what about you, Carl? Do you have any favorites from 2002?
We're gonna go with Jet Set Radio Future.
Is that the second one?
That is technically the remake, I guess you could say.
Remake. Okay, because I've heard. I know a lot of people love the Jet Set Radio game or games. I don't even know how many there are. I don't know anything about the franchise. I just know people love them.
It's basically just one game. There was a Game Boy port of that game, but it's basically just one game, and the Xbox version is kind of like the definitive version. But it has been ported a few times. I know you can play it on your Vita as well as it's on PC, or it was. I think they got delisted because they're getting Sega's doing the remakes and remasters of a lot of older games, and that is definitely one of them that they've showed off. So can't wait for that one.
Oh yeah, that got announced at the same time. Like the Shinobi game got announced, and
Crazy Taxi,
Crazy
Golden
Taxi,
Axe.
Golden Axe. That's the other one I was thinking of. Yeah, I was like, yeah. How long ago was that already?
think 2 years now.
It's like it seems like it wasn't that long ago. Then I want to say it was at least over a year ago. It's like, when are those games coming out? So,
Hey man, 2016 was almost 10 years ago, right?
oh my goodness,
Time flies.
Ugh,
it
don't
does.
remind me.
So, all right, now I've not really even seen much like footage from Jet Set. That was like a cell shaded rollerblading Tony Hawk game. Is that right?
It was a graffiti game, basically. It's a rollerblading graffiti game. It's very 2002 edgy. All the soundtrack is like.
I was gonna say it probably has a really good soundtrack, doesn't it?
Oh, it has a great soundtrack. If you like early EDM and pop music, like what is it, like West Coast underground music? That was the best way to say it.
Okay.
And I forget the sound designer's name, but he has really good original music and everything else too. He also, as Snapple said, he did work on the soundtrack for Bomb Rush Cyberpunk 2 as well, which is basically like the spiritual successor to Jet Set Radio.
Yes. Have you played that one?
Yeah, it's actually really fun. I haven't sat down and played it too much, but it's pretty good. They had some more modes of travel and everything else like that, and it's very over the top, more over the top, I would say, than Jet Set Radio.
Okay.
Yeah, because like the beginning of your game, your character gets decapitated, and they replace it with like a robot head.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Hideki Nagamura. That's the guy's name. Thanks.
Okay. I'll say I've heard of Hideki Kamiya. I've not heard of Hideki Nagamura. So okay, cool. Jet Set Radio for 2002. Nice. And Lowest Expectations said easily Morrowind. That does not surprise me. And Purist says the 2002 Spider-Man game. I think that was the Spider-Man the movie, I believe. I know a lot of people have a lot of love for that game. So, what about you, Bliss? You got a favorite from 2002?
I'm gonna have to agree with Lowest Expectations. Say Morrowind.
Ah, okay.
Man, oh man, as a PC gamer, and I loved the PC RPGs. Like Morrowind was just something of its own. Like I remember, you start off on the boat, you get off, and the world's just kind of yours to explore and go wherever. And like one of the first things that happened, I still remember this day, was like all of a sudden you just hear this scream, and I'm like looking around, like what in the hell is going on? And this like guy just all of a sudden just like comes out of nowhere and splats on the ground next to me, right? And he's got this potion of like jumping, and it like increases your jump to like 99 or whatever. So it's like, oh man, that's awesome. So I drink the potion, jump and just instantly like fly through the air and just splat on the ground myself dead. So that made quite the first impression. But
that's
yeah,
hilarious. Like, an NPC did that, and you basically just copied him. That's hilarious.
Yep. Hey, do what you see. You gotta emulate. So
yeah, I will say this: Morrowind has made a comeback as one of the better online memes that have been going around there.
Yeah, exactly. And they've put in a ton of work, like with the game, like restoring and adding in like new areas to explore and stuff like that. So I know Morrowind just has like that cult fan base that just keeps on working on it and adding to it.
Yeah, I definitely need to play that one. Haven't never played it, but I knew a bunch of friends when I was in high school who were obsessed with it.
Yep.
Yeah, I've had people like, oh, you gotta play Morrowind. It's like another giant game that I don't really. It's got so many other games to play, so I don't know if I will, but I know I should. So
you should, but would is the real thing.
Exactly. So Seth is stealing a little bit of my thunder. His pick for 2002 would be Metroid Prime, and I've got a few picks of favorites. I'll start out with one that's kind of a little bit of a cop out since it's basically a port, but that's the Ocarina of Time Master Quest, came out in 2002, because Ocarina of Time is a phenomenal game. But that was kind of just a new spin on an existing game, so I put it last. But the original Splinter Cell came out in 2002, and I freaking love the Splinter Cell franchise because of it. As I mentioned, Jedi Outcast is my favorite series of Star Wars games. Love that game. And then the other two I have here are Metroid Fusion and Metroid Prime. Both came out in 2002. Love both those games. Just replayed Metroid Fusion for the first time in like 15 plus years just last week. And Metroid Prime, I played probably like 6 times last year over the Prime Remastered, and I played through it a bunch of times for the achievements on retro achievements. But if I had to pick one, I absolutely agree with Seth. Metroid Prime would definitely be my number one pick for favorite game from 2002. But a lot of good games, but those are some of my favorites. So, and yeah, Purist was saying, the movie game for Spider-Man. So I was correct about that. Lois says the Golden Sun, The Lost Age was from 2002, and the Scroll of Icarian Flight is a classic.
That's it. Yep.
Is that the potion that you're talking about?
Yeah, it was a scroll.
It was a scroll.
That's what it was.
Gotcha.
But because all of a sudden it's just like you hear some guy screaming and Splat's next to you, and
that is hilarious. And he says, Dagoth, your memes are amazing.
Can an Enwa borrow a sweet roll? How does an Enwa borrow a sweet roll?
Because Dagoth was the main antagonist of Oblivion, wasn't he?
I don't remember.
But that's why I would know him from Oblivion. Like I said, I haven't played Morrowind, but I these are all like demigods or something, so they exist like eternally, essentially. So that would make sense if he's in all of them.
I don't think I've ever actually finished a mainline story in any of those games.
Now that's funny.
Just got too sidetracked. When I first played Skyrim, I think I deviated from the main storyline for like 100 hours before I came back and continued the main storyline, just off doing all this other stuff. So that's totally understandable.
No, I do that all the time. It's like when I was just playing Yakuza Pirates, and I'm like, I got a maxed out pirate ship before I even have to fight into pirate battles. It's like we're exploring downtown Waikiki. All right.
Nice. And Lois is saying that no, Dagoth wasn't in Oblivion at all. Oh, it was Meiru's Dagon that I was thinking of. Thank you for that,
yes,
correcting me on that, Lois.
Get his little dagger. Yeah.
Who is the antagonist in Oblivion? Yes, that is right. Thank you for that. I've heard rumors that the Oblivion remake is imminent. It could be coming out very soon, like maybe even a shadow drop. So hopefully they don't screw that up, because I know a lot of people love Oblivion, and it was the game that got me into RPGs.
It doesn't matter. Everyone will just be upset anyway.
That's true.
It doesn't matter.
Probably.
It could be good, and then someone will be like, it's not the same, because it's not the same game that I played on the 360. It's not all janky and looks like it was made in a blender.
Probably. And Pierce says GTA Vice City and Lord of the Rings 2 Tower games. Yeah, I've heard the Lord of the Rings 2 Tower, or the Lord of the Rings games in general were actually pretty good.
Not the first one, but Two Towers and Return of the King. Return of the King is the best one.
I played the Return of the King demo because of the official Xbox Magazine demo disc, and I remember playing as Gandalf and fighting the trolls as they busted through the gates of Minas Tirith. Nice. But those games use a similar engine that the Revenge of the Sith game would use, I believe. Cool. Lois says Mario Sunshine was 2002. I know Angry Canadian and Dude are both huge fans of that game, and I will be playing it at some point this year because that's the game that Canadian challenged me to. So,
what was that? My wife was talking to me.
Oh, Mario Sunshine.
Oh yeah,
was 2002, and Canadian and Dude love that game, and
I'll
be playing it. I've never played it before. I'll be playing it at some point this year because that's the game that Canadian challenged me to in our year-long gaming contest.
That's when Mario peaked, and it's just been downhill from there.
So Seth says Dagoth Wave is such a banger. That sounds like something from Elder Scrolls, but I don't know what that means. So, is that like
a music reference?
I was gonna say, is that the music that Daedra gods listen to?
Yes.
Dagoth Wave. And Lois saying it's Bugthesda, and they're all allegedly making it Unreal Engine 5, so it's most likely going to be a disaster at launch. It'll probably look really pretty, but yeah, being Bugthesda, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a disaster on launch. It'll probably get good in a couple years. So
yeah, we'll see. I think I always stand by this saying. I think some of those online memes have infested people a little too much.
Agree.
But I would definitely welcome a new reason to play Oblivion again and get achievements for it for a second time.
Oh, and you know one that came out in 2002, which I should mention, Eternal Darkness.
Oh, I've heard lots of good things about that, but I've not played it, and I have a little bit of a grudge against Silicon Knights.
I got to play that eventually. I finally got a copy of it, but when a game starts to cost over $100, I really just don't like to play it.
Yeah, I've heard that one's like a cult classic, though.
Oh, it's so good. It does like the whole like Elder Tor thing so well, where it just messes with you and makes you think you're going crazy.
Yeah,
Like,
and
you
not
wanna
just
talk about
like your
data loss.
character, but you as the player.
Right. It
Yeah.
does this thing where like, if your character in the game gets high enough insanity, it'll tell you like, oh, erasing all of your save data. Save data is wiped. It did that. So I'm like, what the heck happened? No. But it was fake.
Yeah. The reason why I have a bit of a grudge against Silicon Knights is because of Too Human, and that is on my list for our year-long gaming challenge on games you'll get bonus points if you play for games that you hate. So I may play Too Human again because of that.
I thought you hated them because they were Canadian.
I didn't even know they were Canadian.
I don't even know if they're Canadian. I just made that up.
Oh, okay.
I thought they were Canadian. I think they are.
Probably.
Let's see here. Silicon Knights. Let's see. Oh, you were right. Canadian video game developer.
Hell yeah. I know how to spot a Canadian.
Headquartered in St. Catharines, Canada. So you nailed it. So, no, I had no idea they were Canadian. I just hate them because of terrible design and Too Human. But
Canadian.
I've heard that.
I'm kidding.
Eternal Darkness is a great game. So I'll give it that. So Lois says it's synthwave song from Dagoth. Your quotes over it. Oh, okay.
Oh,
Hey.
I just realized something too. I didn't realize that Sly Cooper and Athevius Raccoonus came out this year as well.
Oh, that's from 2002?
Yeah, one of the best 3D platformers, beloved Sony IP, and one of like the games that really showed you what Sucker Punch can do. Love that. And Kingdom Hearts also came out that year.
Okay.
Too. I just actually bought the Kingdom Hearts collection for Xbox recently.
How many games is that? Because I don't really know a whole lot.
It's like 17, a mobile game, and a hidden message in a toilet somewhere in Square Enix's office. That's how you get it all done.
For their games is like very confusing.
Yes.
It's like Naked Gun, the 2.5, and then 3 3/4. Like Kingdom Hearts 1 7/8. It's like, what are you guys doing?
It took forever for them to give you another Kingdom Hearts game, so that's also why.
So Snap says, but Todd Howard tells me that it just works. Yeah, it just works. So Steph is agreeing. Eternal Darkness is fantastic. It's a perfect game for Bliss because it even gaslights you at low sanity. Yeah. Hey, a New You is here. What's up, New You? I don't know if you've been lurking, but good to see you again. Oblivion Remake should use AI for all the voices and art. Add a disappointing pre-order pack, and it will sell like hotcakes. Don't give them ideas. Oh, and Lois is saying that Kingdom Hearts is another one from 2002. You both basically said it at the same time. And Age of Mythology came out 2002. I know you love that one, Carl.
Yeah, I do. It was fun. Many hours into that one. I think one of my funnier memories is playing Age of Mythology while watching Adam Sandler's 8 Crazy Nights. That's like one of the more weird memories I had as a kid.
Okay. All right. Well, with that, I think that'll wrap it up for episode 35 of Party Chat. We'll go around the horn here and let everyone, say goodbye to Ryan, but we'll go around the horn here and let everyone else here on the panel let us know what they got going on. So, Bliss, I know you don't directly have your own channel, but you collaborate with Paul and Seth. So what do you guys got going over on with the company, boys? And the link to everyone's channel is, as usual, already in the stream description, but I'll drop it here in chat as well. So,
nice.
Bliss, what do you got going on?
So we do mostly cooperative games. So we're playing right now through Warframe, which has just been a blast and a ton of fun to play with Paul and DJ. And then I think Saturday we'll be playing a little bit of Monster Hunter with a certain CEO of Rumble, Carl.
Yes, I will be being carried to glory like Chris, playing with my friends. because I've played exactly 2 hours.
Hey, well, you know what? I think DJ's still pretty low level too, so we're happy to help get you up there.
Yes, I'm gonna try to play more this week, but I just really need to try.
Well, hey, if you don't, no worries. We'll just play wherever you're at.
Well, like that episode of The Simpsons when the hillbillies from the carnival take over their house, and Homer's like, "Oh, they messed up my groove," It's like that's me with Monster Hunter right now. It's like I'm like, Sandra, put on a pot of coffee. I'm going to be here for a bit. So I definitely am going to definitely start doing that, at least at the very latest if I'm slacking Saturday morning. But yes, I can't wait. It's going to be fun for sure. I'm very looking forward to this.
See, there you go, Snapple. You don't have to boo Warframe. We've got some Monster Hunter coming. Probably some more EDF too.
He demands more Monster Hunter and Earth Defense Force.
There you go.
Oh, and Lois is saying that Donald Trump's real estate tycoon was also in 2002. I didn't even know that was a game. So, all right, go check out the company, boys. They got a lot of fun stuff going on over there, especially on the weekends. They do some fun gaming and group shenanigans. Probably be the best way to put it. So go give them a sub and hang out with them whenever they're streaming some fun stuff. So thanks for coming on, Bliss. Good to chat with you. And for not pushing too many of my buttons tonight.
See, I told you. Best behavior.
So always good hanging out with you and chatting with you. So thanks for coming on and being flexible on the reschedule from your bad weather last time.
Yeah. Well, hey, now I should have a battery back coming. So hopefully that won't be an issue going forward.
So, all right, Carl, what else do you got going on over in this land of being the CEO of Rumble?
Friday I'm coming back for the podcast finally. I've been slacking too much, but we'll be back with Mr. IJP Mexican on Friday. And we're going to be talking about God of War. We're going to be doing a retrospective on at least the 5 mainline games because we kind of talked about that first where we're like, do we want to cover the spin-offs? And he's like, no, let's just stick to the main 5. So I'm like, all right, we'll stick to the main 5. So we'll be covering God of War 1, 2, God of War Ragnarok. And I recently played all 3 of the original ones because the other 2 are kind of more fresh in my mind. And looking forward to doing that. That will be at Friday, 7 p.m. Central. Obviously, Bliss has said it here. We will be playing some Monster Hunter with good old Seth and Polly Walnuts. So we're going to have a good time doing that as well. Saturday afternoon. And then Saturday night, I actually have another show. After that, my podcast is back again. And it's going to be with Mrs. Vex Electronica and One McDizzle Gaming. And we're going to be talking about journalism. So we're going to be talking about mainstream game journalism and the indie scene, the YouTubers and independent creators as well like that. So that's all I got planned for this week. And then more tomfoolery will definitely be around next week. Don't know the full schedule, but I have some shows lined up, but I'll announce those later.
All right. Well, thanks for being here as always. Always fun to talk video games with you. So, as for myself, tomorrow I am going to do my next roulette stream to catch up on all the tips I've gotten over the last few months. So I'll be letting the wheel pick what I play for a few hours, and any additional tips that come in will add to that. And then tomorrow night, assuming that this roulette stream goes about as long as I plan and doesn't go ridiculously longer, I plan to continue Ninja Gaiden Black tomorrow night for a few more hours. And then I've got another episode of Open Mic on Thursday with Nightmare. So looking forward to talking with him. We've been talking both in Discord chats and in other live chats, usually the Melee streams, and things come up. And it's like, oh, that's another thing we need to talk about. So I've got like 4 things I want to talk to him that I've written down. I was like, we need to talk about that when we come on Open Mic. So have a Nightmare on Thursday night to just talk about some video game related stuff. So come hang out with me or us for that. And then next week, I will not be streaming at all because I got stuff going on IRL. So I'm taking the whole week off. But there still will be an episode of Top 5 next week. And I think Carl's on that panel.
Yes.
Yes. So on Tuesday, next episode of Top 5 is ranking their top 5 favorite Pokemon, not the games, the actual Pokemon. So that will be at same time, 6 o'clock Pacific, 9 o'clock Eastern. I still haven't decided whether I'm going to have it on my channel, even though I'm not going to be here or not. We'll see. But either way, that will be on Jason's channel. And Carl and Sad Lad Chad and Lowest Expectations are going to be on that panel, ranking their favorite Pokemon next Tuesday. So, but I will be back with the regularly scheduled programming the week after that. And we'll get back to, the Monday the 31st is the next episode is the next Mass Effect Monday. So if anyone wants to play Mass Effect with me for a few hours, let me know. And we're doing that on Monday the 31st. So with that, that'll wrap it up for tonight. Thank you everyone for joining us for another episode of Party Chat, hanging out with us for however long and giving us your answers to the topics tonight. A lot of fun. So we will see you all next time. And if you Melee James is streaming right now, so I can't raid on YouTube. So go over there and if you want to go over to the Melee channel and tell them that Neo sent you. But I'm going to do a raid over on Rumble since I have the ability to do that on Rumble. So you all have a good night. We will see you next time, everyone. Have a good night. We'll catch you next time. And as always, in the meantime, game on.